welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Delta Green tonight. After a week off, we are playing Delta Green Impossible Landscapes. We are very, very close to the end of part 2. I don't think it's happening tonight, but this could be. I'm betting on this being the penultimate episode of part 2, but we'll see how things go. You never know. We were talking about how I might get a TPK tonight, having the party split into 3 completely different places, and so that's what I'm going for tonight, trying to get that achievement. So that'd be great. So before we get going, couple wee little plugs. So we've been playing games for a while on this channel on Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Friday tends to be our Delta Green night. Saturday we've been playing Worlds Without Numbers. You can catch us there tomorrow. And Monday we are starting a new voyage. The Ultraviolet Grasslands. We've already done character creation, and Monday will be our first proper session. It is a psychedelic traveling Oregon Trail type game where people are weird, and one of our players is a disembodied houseplant. So, there's that. And come check that out. And then on opposite Mondays we play Alien, and we weave in some one shots here and there of a variety of other games. So come check us out, and then you can catch others of us on different channels. Melissa and I will be tomorrow during the day. We'll be over on the Defenders of Cobalt playing Forbidden Lands. I also hang out with them on Wednesdays playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and I play Call of Cthulhu on Tuesdays over on Garblag Games. What do you want to do? You want to introduce yourselves really quick? We'll just do this fast. I mean, this is episode 17. You guys haven't died yet, so we don't have to. We don't need to know everything about you. Just refresh our memories. Who are you? So Ashley, who are you?
I'm Chelsea. I'm the intelligence analyst, but basically I'm the demon lady now. Like, I've got the book. I've read The King in Yellow. And I've seen some weird shit.
Yeah, you have seen some weird shit. That is true. Yep. Some weird stuff has happened to you recently, too. You got shot, kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows anymore? No one knows what's real and what's not. I don't even know that. Let's see. And you're leaning in, so I think Long's ready to talk. Long, who are you?
I am playing Agent Vessel, a ex-FBI operative out of Las Vegas.
That is correct. Hostage rescue, I believe, was your specialty.
That's correct.
Yeah. And now you're a bartender.
Same thing.
Yep, same thing. Yeah, okay. I buy it. It's fine with me. Bottom row, we've got Derek.
Yes, I play Agent Album, and I am a retired NASA employee after becoming a terrorist who's not publicly known yet.
Mm-hmm. The Brownstone bomber. That's right. It's all the rage in the Northeast. No one knows who it is. It's this guy right here, right there in front of you. And then finally, we've got Melissa. Who are you?
So I play Agent Vaughn. She works for the National Park Service. She's an archaeologist. And she found some fun yarn stuff last episode. Fun with yarn and pamphlets.
That is true. Chuck, you are absolutely right. I totally forgot. Sunday, you can also catch me over on Steam Still Murder as we were playing through our Shadowrun campaign, which is like a year old at this point. We've jumped from system to system playing Shadowrun. It's pretty awesome. So come check that out as well. Okay. So let's do a quick summary. We took a week off. I'm not going to go too heavily into where we began, but the long and short of it is that you are self-described D-Cell. You first got together in 1995 in New York. You were investigating the disappearance of Abigail Wright from a young 20-something artist from a building called the McAllister Building, which turned out to be a very strange building with floors that just kept going and going and going after dark. And you all met some people there, and then you decided to blow it up because you had to keep the unnatural from spreading outside of that building. 20 years have passed, and you all were once again brought back together for another mission. You haven't worked on an operation together since, and you're brought back by a man named Agent Exeter / Dr. Elias Barbas / Marbus, possibly a demon. he was your handler, and he said, I need you to come to Boston. So you went to Boston, and you're investigating the disappearance of 4 psychiatric patients / Delta Green agents from the Dorchester Psychiatric Facility in Boston. You've done some searching into this, but it has not gone smoothly. It has been a crazy ride where you guys have been kind of getting bombarded in all different ways from different places. Chelsea has been in jail and then was let out of jail by a demon, ? Who knows? You've discovered a hotel room that wasn't there moments before, and then it was like haunted and had all sorts of like weird evidence that seemed related to Delta Green and other things inside of it. It had this old case file with Delta Green records in it and references to the King in Yellow. You all tracked one of the hospital orderlies, and he had a tiny body of a child inside, like a old decrepit body of a child that had been talking apparently to Fawn earlier in the day. It's been a roller coaster. Now, most recently, after you all did these things with trying to get into Agent Exeter's home and that going crazy as a weird, impossible machine attacked you all, you split up to continue your investigation. Album and Chelsea. Aaron, thank you so much for those bits.
Ooh,
oh
wow,
my goodness.
thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You can catch Aaron over on Garblack as well. He quite regularly. He's also in that Call of Cthulhu game on Tuesday. He's my new friend Seamus. So let's see, what was I saying? Album and Chelsea, you all returned to the Dorchester house. You wanted to kind of go back through some things. Album, you tried to talk with Dr. Dallin, who runs the facility. However, it almost seemed like a dead end. Couldn't tell whether he was stonewalling you or if he just didn't have any other information to give you. There was designs on doing some kind of surveillance, like you were trying to put some kind of surveillance bug somewhere or like a flash drive or something, but that kind of got confiscated right off the bat and you haven't been able to retrieve it. Chelsea, you went and you spoke with 2 specific patients. Do you remember who they were?
Ed Myler West.
That's correct.
And
Tim.
I learned his
Timothy
maiden name
Bale.
was Gleason.
Yes. His mother's name, I believe, was Gleason. So is Ed Myler Weist, W-I-S-T. And apparently at some point he was Gleason. And then you've looked up Gleason, and it's also in the Hydromantia.
Also a demon.
Oh, look at just all these demon names everywhere. And then you spoke with Timothy Bale. Who has a book filled with demon seals and stuff like that, right? And also says that the psychiatric patients that are missing, the only reason they're missing is because they don't exist yet. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. They'll be here. They'll be here soon. Like, just don't worry about it. Okay. I mean, you're a psychiatric patient. These people are violent. They have severe personality disorders, PTSD, and all sorts of other things. But you had a nice chat with them, and Nurse Samagina took you down, and you were going to have lunch in the cafeteria while Album went and hid in a maintenance closet somewhere in the basement. Meanwhile, Vessel and Fawn went to investigate St. Jude's Church, which is the location for the Encounter Group, which is a self-help group that had the yellow sign on its pamphlet, a pamphlet you found in the Dorchester house. Now, the church was mostly a dead end, but there's 2 significant things that happened. One, Fawn accidentally released the yellow sign in the company of friendly Catholic
Classic.
folk.
Are you sure you want to do that? Yes.
Yep.
And then it would.
And then secondly, you found crumpled up in like a dirty, unclean corner of one of the kind of breakout rooms in the basement. You found another one of those flyers with handwritten directions. It seemed old. And you backtracked it like brilliant minds, and you found that it took you to the home of Nurse Samagina. And you got inside, and you all have been looking around. I am going to take a little bit of time just to review what you saw, because I heard you all talking about this before we got on. But you have been able, so it's a 3-story building. The first floor is somebody else's apartment, and the second and third floor are the Samagina's home. And when you all went in there, Fawn found, looks like the ingredients for making the original Encounter Group pamphlet were in the dining room area. You also found linseed oil with a note that says, for Sammy pickup the exact same note that was written on a Post-it note for linseed oil in the basement of the McAllister building in 1995, around some linseed oil.
Album poured down like a street drain.
Yeah, what? Yeah. And then you also went into the powder room on the first floor of their home, and you found a weird bottle. There's also this horrible smell in the house. Vessel, you went upstairs. You went into the kids' room, briefly looked around. You found some crazy-looking cardboard city model, and then underneath the mattress, you found a weird scrapbook. And then in the master bedroom, you found 2 sets of clothing meticulously laid out on the bed, like held together by safety pins and layered, like undershirt and then a regular shirt and then a coat on top of it, and then pieced together with pins. And then you went into the bathroom and you found a horrible smell of stench of death. Looked like chemicals had been poured into the bathtub to like an inch thick. You started to drain it. And you saw it looks like there were weird greasy fingerprint signs on the mirror that were in the sort of the sign of the yellow sign itself. It looked like it was someone who was frequently drawing that symbol over and over again in the same spot over top on the mirror itself. So I'm going to start with Album. I want to give him a chance here. Album, are you comfy where you're at? To remind everybody, you managed to sneak down here and you went through like a vent. You hopped down into a workshop / maintenance / like laundry chute room. And you found a small closet near the elevator, like a utility repair maintenance, like to get access to the elevator itself. And you're hiding in there. You can hear the grinding of the elevator gears going up and down. It's like middle of the afternoon. Are you satisfied where you're at?
Yeah, Album wants to wait until nightfall to see.
Okay.
I guess what he'll find out.
Okay. I just want to check in. I wanted to check in first. All right. No one seems to have discovered you. You hear the sound of the elevator kind of going up and down, and other than that, occasionally like the hum of the HVAC unit will kind of kick in and you'll hear like air kind of whistling around, and then you'll also hear the strange dripping sound as well. I'm going to switch over then to Chelsea. Chelsea, you're in the hospital cafeteria. Samagina led you down here. She said to you, "We have a great turkey club today. It's Sunday." She waits in line with you for a bit. You go through just like this little process.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that she gets a tray for you, sets it in front of you. And she like kind of waves her ID at the person at the register, saying it's kind of like it's on her.
Oh.
But you notice that she's not getting any food. Like she doesn't have a tray in front of her.
Gotcha.
There's maybe a dozen other people scattered about a couple different tables in the cafeteria. All of them are eating. You go by, you see some fruits, some little like fruit cups, things like that. You see big old tubs filled with like various like fruit drinks, stuff like that. Anything in particular you're looking to get?
Now I'm nervous.
I know.
Oh God. Just like the sandwich and a drink, like that'll be it.
Okay. All right. So you get a drink, you get a sandwich, it's wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
It's pre-made. They come up, and there's just like a kind of a, looks like a middle-aged man who's running the register. He's got like a hairnet on and stuff. You see that there's another person, kind of a somewhat heavy-set woman who's kind of back in the kitchen. You can see her through like this middle slot where like orders are placed if there's something more specific that has to be. And they kind of stare at you a little bit as they grab the card and swipe it from Samagina, and then she leads you over. And she like.
Do they have a name tag?
Yeah, it looks like it just said Jimmy on it. Like
Oh.
it didn't have like it wasn't like one of these other people that are like nurses or orderlies. They look like they're just a cafeteria worker. So she leads you over to a table, and she sits you down. And she says, "If you'll excuse me just for a few minutes. She's like, you can see her look. She said, "Oh, Ulrika, come keep this young lady comfortable. And if she needs anything, you just let me know." And you look over and you can see that there's two people sitting on a different table. One of them you've met before, Nurse Ulrika Vors, one of the registered nurses here, and also Orderly Gail Houston, who has let you in and out. She's like kind of runs the front desk area, and the two of them seem to be sitting next to you. Sammy doesn't really wait for them to respond, but she just kind of gets up and leaves, and the two of them just sort of look over to you, and they just kind of give that casual like, "Are you finding everything okay?"
Oh yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna eat. Enjoy yourselves. It's all good. I'm just waiting.
Okay, sure, that's fine. And so they go back and they start talking, and they're good 10, 12 feet from you. Do you take a bite of the sandwich?
I just want to like eavesdrop for a little bit first to see like if
Okay.
anything. If I'm
You're so
picking up anything.
anxious to take a bite of that sandwich.
I really am.
Okay, roll alertness.
Oh God, wait. Ooh, Foundry is broken. Hold on. Let me
You're
look.
broken. How dare you? How dare you?
This is a private game. You must log in to access it. I am logged in.
Are you? While she's figuring that out, I'll go ahead and I'll plug the Delta Green Kickstarter that's going on right now. Go grab that stuff. Old Delta Green conspiracy, all sorts of old things.
There we
Drop the
go.
link in the chat. All right. You got it, or do you want me to roll it for you?
I am almost there. Hopefully. Ashley is joining game.
Your alertness is 31, which is pretty solid. I'm just going to roll it.
Just roll it.
Oh, gosh.
I'm nervous.
Sorry, I'll do that again. Okay. All right. 36 over 31.
Close.
As you're sitting there, you don't really hear too much of what they're saying. Patient talk. You don't really get too much about it. Like, it just seems like mundane conversation. But then a man sits down in front of you. And you can see that he's got like an apple in one hand, and he's got a big old wad of like napkins in his other hand. And he just takes a big crunch of this red apple, and he says, "Hey, have you seen the puppets?" And then we'll go ahead and switch over to Samagina's house.
Okay.
Wait. I want to
Vessel.
go back and find out if that's a cafeteria.
Vessel, you're in the bathroom, and as you're kind of looking around, like I think you drained the bathtub, right? Like you were
That's
trying,
correct,
yeah, and it was about an inch thick, and it's taking some time. It's super viscous, and as you're waiting, you look down and you notice something right there on the countertop. You notice like a tape recorder, right there on the counter, like an audio recorder of some kind.
I'll start fidgeting with it while it drains.
So you start playing it, and you can tell like it's like as it's playing a sound, you hear a teen's voice start coming in. It's one of those digital voice recorders, so you can actually like read like a little digital display. It tells you how many recordings there are, and it looks like there's like 11 or 12 recordings. There's they're not very long. You start playing one, but you can see that there's a battery light warning as if it's running out. And so there's like the first one is the sound of what sounds like a teen boy's voice. And it's like, "Mom showed me something today, and it was interesting. It was funny. I liked it. I liked it." And you hear like this laughter in the background, but all the while like the sound's just sort of like fading out a bit, and then the battery like dies. Go ahead and roll a search for me. Okay.
Success 3.
So you start digging around through some of the drawers, both here and outside, and you find what looks like the charger, and you kind of plug this in, and you can see it's beginning to do that as it's charging up. It's going to take a few minutes, you would think. Is there anything else you want to do? Do you want me to refresh your memory of what's in here? We got a bathroom. The tub itself smells like death. The liquid's draining. There's a bunch of like cleaning equipment, cleaning supplies, and stuff like that that seems to have likely been dumped into some kind of collective soup in the bathtub. The mirror has like the greasy symbol for the yellow sign that seems to have been like drawn over and over and over again on one spot. And that's what you saw in here. Back in the bedroom, you saw the clothes on the bed, and that's basically all you really looked at when you came in here. And you all were asking if there was another room. There was a bathroom in the hallway as well, upstairs, that you didn't check.
Okay, while this like drains and the tape charges, we'll just head out to the other rooms that I haven't looked at.
Okay. You step out into the hallway, and you look over, and you can see there's Fawn at the upstairs landing area. She is kind of fiddling with some, looks like a sewing kit, going through, looks like the trash can next to the sewing kit. She's like pulling out all these different pieces of fabric and things like that. So Fawn, you are now in the scene.
I was letting
Awesome.
know. Brace yourself, it's pretty rancid.
Oh, let me show you this real quick, and then I'll see what you got, and I'll show the hotel brought and bellhop costumes.
Okay. So if you recall, the red, gold, and yellow bellhop outfits, you can tell that the pockets and the buttons on the costumes aren't real, and they're only like seams that sort of look like pockets or buttons. And you found that there were like basically unassembled fez-like caps, like the materials for it that were nearby as well. I don't know if I gave you this or not, so we'll roll an intense 5. Both of you can do this.
I failed.
Succeed.
You would probably estimate that they're like looking at all of the materials here. Likely there's probably, between everything that you saw in the house, between here and elsewhere, and the trash baskets and things, probably about 20 or more of these outfits have been made. Now, you guys are right across the hall from the teenage bedroom, and then you also know that there is a hall bathroom up here as well that you haven't gone in. Vessel, you peeked into the teenage boy's room, and you saw the cardboard city, and you found the book underneath the bed.
Clear out the other bathroom.
Okay. So, are you going with him, Fawn?
Sure.
Okay. So you both head over to the other, and as you get close, you can kind of hear like a really faint mechanical hum coming from the other side of the door. It doesn't seem like it's particularly loud, but when you push the door open, you notice that this bathroom is just completely covered in books everywhere, like to the point where they're covering the toilet. Paperbacks, hardcovers, far side of the room, like you can't even see the toilet seat anymore. Just from looking, you can see some of them are thrown open here and there. They've been cut to pieces. Various pages have had select words and photographs cut from them. Just kind of looking. Go ahead and both of you can roll search really quick. Book underneath the bed. That's a good idea.
I failed.
Fawn, you notice immediately, without like much effort, you just kind of reach down, kind of flip through a couple of books, and you notice two things that catch your attention right off the bat. You notice that there are several copies of the Night Sea series by Roger Caroon, and you also notice that there is one copy of A World Without Doors by Emmeline Fitzroy. Go ahead and roll San.
I have seen that before, I believe. I failed my SAM
Okay.
roll.
Are you adapted to helplessness?
I am.
Okay, then you're all right then. If you're adapted to helplessness, you're okay. Okay. Now, you notice that there are more books kind of piled up in the sink, and there's a bathroom mirror, And much like the other bathroom vessel, you can see that there's like this complex series of strange lines that are drawn in fingerprint grease that you can tell, especially after seeing the other bathroom. It's the yellow sign. Like you're both very familiar with this. And again, it looks like someone has been tracing it and drawing it over and over again. And you also notice that in one of the walls of the bathroom, there is a partially propped open laundry chute, and it seems to have a post-it note that's stuck above it. And the note says, ×4 bellhop, ×2 gangster. And both you can roll in ×5 at this.
Okay.
That's a crit fail.
You guys do have rerolls
Go
from
for
our
it.
friend Aaron. So he threw some bits out early. So if you use it now, this is the only time you can use it while you're in the house of Samagina. It's your call. If one of you wants to use it.
I've got a 75, so I think I'll.
Go for it. Yeah.
Success.
You are confident. You haven't seen a lot of her handwriting, but you're pretty confident this is Esther Samagina's handwriting.
Okay.
You also, I mean, like when you look and kind of rolling it over a little bit, you can see that the chute seems to be recently installed. Like you can see the signs of sawdust on the rug of the floor of the bathroom. And it also looks kind of slightly off level from the wall, like it's not sitting properly.
Okay. I would like to pull my phone out and activate the flashlight,
Okay.
and I'll kind of turn around to Vessel and I'll just say, just in case something weird happens, I'm gonna go poke my head down that.
Okay. You pull the chute and like the sounds of that machinery begin to get a little bit louder, and we'll cut over towards Album. The elevator had just moved, and I feel like at some point maybe you dozed off even so slightly. It's somewhat dark in here. Do you have anything on you? I know there's a lot of the contraband stuff with, obviously, but like anything else you might have that would have been like contraband?
No, because Ashley and I both failed our like concealment rolls, so I have nothing.
Okay.
Maybe just like my belt, if I'm allowed to keep that on, but they didn't allow shoelaces, so I imagine no.
Okay. So you've been hearing this dripping sound for a bit, and the only solace you're getting is when the elevator moves and you can hear the machinery start to sort of grind and move, and that kind of covers it up. But every time it fades away, there's this dripping, and it gets louder and louder. And eventually, like, even though it's very dark in here, there's a little bit of light coming in from underneath the kind of the door. But you start to notice that there's like this strange refracting of the light, as if there's something else down there. Like there's like it's coming through water, or it's reflecting strangely, something like that. And that's when you notice that there is a liquid substance that's beginning to leak into the closet that you're hiding within.
You said I'm next to, or the HVAC unit is in here. Can I check its condenser and see if it's just water?
I don't think it's in here. I think it's separate from where you're specifically hiding. But I'll say this, like if you just kind of tap it, like you can tell immediately it's too thick, too viscous to be water. And you smell it. It has kind of an odor to it, like almost like an adhesive odor to it. Like you just sniff glue.
Would I be able to roll chemistry to? Okay. If it's an adhesive, is there like one of those pull strings for like a light in this closet at all?
Roll a luck test. We'll see if you get lucky, and there is one.
56.
Okay. I'm going to say, I asked you to do the luck test, but then I realized it probably makes sense that there would be a pull light since they would actually do repairs in the elevator. So I'm just going to give it to you anyway. And we'll say, yeah, there's a light switch in here. So you click the light, and a little bulb kind of sways and sort of moves. It's got these weird haunting shadows that start casting around as the thing sways. And yeah, you look and there's like this little kind of yellowish orange color on the tip of your finger where you just like dabbed it in this liquid.
And you said this was at the seam of the door?
Yeah, it's like
So it's
it's
flowing from
slowly-
outside.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very slowly. It's got like a slightly more viscous than milk consistency to it.
I'll crack the door open and peek out.
Okay. You crack the door open and you are hit with just an overwhelming odor of like industrial chemicals just like wafting into your nose to the point where like your eyes begin to quickly water. It's if you've ever been in like a workshop where Formica glue has been like laid and like the garage doors are closed, like it's just that kind of, oh my God, this is sort of getting to me almost immediately. And you notice on the ground there's like your when your feet touch, like you're feeling like a slight resistance when you pull them off. And you look around and the linoleum floor is suddenly being coated with some kind of a like liquid epoxy.
Do I see where it's coming from, or is it just the length of this hallway?
Length of the hallway. Everywhere. Like you don't like the only linoleum that doesn't seem to be immediately covered by it is where you were just hiding inside of this closet.
And if I remember correctly, the hallway basically had like a door to the stairwell to go from the basement level, and then just the door into like the laundry room,
The
right?
kind of the workshop laundry area, yeah, the all-purpose. And you can see that it kind of like the liquid goes up to like the workshop as well, like where the doors are. You can see that it's either coming out of or going into the workshop area.
Yeah, I'll check the workshop first. Did that door have a window on it, or was it just a solid
It
door?
was one of those frosted doors.
Oh, okay. So then I'll just peek through that door. I'll crack it
Okay.
quietly in case someone's in there.
You crack it open and like you can feel like almost a tough current as you push the door open, and like little ripples of this liquid begins to spread out. And when you look inside, the room looks decidedly different than when you were last in here, in that coating almost every surface within this workshop, you can see this epoxy. It's in some cases it's hardened completely to the point where you saw paper towels and detergent is now encased in something that almost looks like amber. And there's other places where dripping from what looks like the corner of one of the countertops, you can just see these slow, long drips of the liquefied just dropping into a puddle below.
Would I be able to discern the hardened portions if they look, if that epoxy looks the same when it's cured to Abigail's apartment?
Yeah, I would say for certain, you're starting to feel, it's because you put some time into it and you gave your brother the sample. Yeah, you're fairly confident this is the same thing. And I need you to roll a sand test for that too.
Okay. I succeeded.
Okay, you're good to go.
Ooh.
I
So-
studied this for a whole chapter.
Yes. So yeah.
So I still don't know like the origin point of it, right?
Yeah, you look around, you can't find like an open can that's spilling over anywhere. It's just kind of everywhere.
What's like what supplies or tools or things are in the workshop with me right now?
So you see what looks like replacement beds, mattresses, replacement tables, replacement chairs. Some are broken. You see a lot of hand tools. You don't see like anything that's like saw based is locked behind some kind of like metal grid for safety probably. And you can see like there's master locks and things that are keeping those in tight. But like basic hand tools, screwdrivers and hammers are accessible. There's a couple cabinets on the wall here and there. You look through a few of them. Nothing really kind of stood out to you. Just basic tools and supplies, some old paint and things like that for touch-up stuff, that kind of thing, caulk, etc. So, as you're kind of peeking around, you hear a door slam out in the hallway that you just left, and through the frosted glass, you can see like a shadow, like a silhouette. We're gonna switch over to Chelsea now. Chelsea, speaking of shadows, you're starting to notice, like, with your alertness, is it like 31 or so? You got this guy is like staring at you, just sat down, and he says, "Have you seen the puppets?" And he's like, "Crunch." And you notice like the shadows are like really, really long on the floor, like just really, really long. But he just looks at you and he's just like, "Have you seen him?"
Mate, are there any here right now?
You look around and you don't see any puppets. Or are you asking him?
I'm asking him.
He says, he looks around. Nah. They mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Oh. What do you mostly have they ever been out during the day?
Sometimes.
Oh. What's your name?
Rudolph. What's yours?
Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea. Would you like a bite of my apple?
No, but did you want half of my sandwich?
He kind of looks over towards like the nurses. They're just like, they kind of shrug, and he's like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, and then I'll give him half of it.
And he starts eating away. And, you know, he's being polite about it. And it's also first floor. And so you would realize that if a patient's on the first floor, they're likely doing decent, right? Like, because they're on their way out. He still seems a little edgy, but he seems polite enough.
Rudolph, have you been to were you ever part of the third floor? Or have you been...
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How long ago?
I don't know, 2-3 years maybe?
Oh. That's awesome. How long have you been on the first floor?
Maybe a month.
Wow.
Crunch. Bite into the sandwich.
Okay. Instead of just like trying to eavesdrop now, I'm gonna like look around the room.
Okay.
See, I'm kind of curious as to what is everybody else eating, and like, is there anybody who's acting like suspicious, like weird?
Roll an alert plus 20, since you specifically said you're not hiding it. You're just flauntingly looking around.
That's a big failure.
You want to re-roll that? You've got one for this scene.
With a plus 20, yeah.
Basically a luck test. Oh, meat puppets. Yep.
Damn it. No, still not good.
Okay. So you're looking for people acting strange?
Yeah.
You don't see anyone acting necessarily strange. Like a few times you see like the nurse, Ulrika, kind of like she's coughing a lot. And you can see the orderly is just sort of like she moves her plate whenever she does. You also notice that there's not as many people here as there were just a few minutes ago. It looks like a couple people left. There's even fewer people in the room than you remembered.
What's Ulrika eating?
It looks like she's eating a kind of an unwrapped like fruit cup. You can see what looks like these kind of orange golden looking fruit chunks in it.
Okay. Yeah, Chelsea's just kind of like picking at her sandwich, not quite eating anything. She's gonna ask Rudolph, so what have you heard about those patients that went missing?
That they just disappeared.
Really?
Poof. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to them at all?
No, not really. Different floors.
Gotcha, fair.
But they weren't here long, and then poof. Even down here we've heard about it. I think, and he kind of leans forward, I think the puppets got him, but that's just me. And he kind of keeps it really quiet because he doesn't want to look, and he kind of covers up the side of his mouth with like part of his sandwich, like the puppets got him.
Who else has seen the puppets?
Who else has seen what? As he starts to chew through his apple.
The puppets.
Have you? They're in the halls every now and then. Not all the time. They weren't here like now. Like when I went from my room to here, I didn't see them. But sometimes they're here. you know, lurking.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to really like puppets, but like sock puppets and things. And now they're here again. And they're not sock puppets though this time though. They're the arms, and they flail and they lope around. And sometimes when you look at their feet, they don't even touch the ground. They just kind of float. They just float. You know?
Yeah. I think they call those marionettes.
Yeah, that's right. And so at this point, you see that Nurse Orlica lady. She kind of gets into a coughing fit, and she gets up and sort of takes her tray, and she leaves. She empties her stuff by the exit to the cafeteria, and then just pushes the doors open.
What time is it?
Afternoon.
Okay. Like, I swear to God, if it's 616 again,
Yeah.
I'm gonna freak out.
And the doors close.
Mm-hmm.
And they just slam, and you hear this loud banging suddenly coming from the kitchen. And you look over, and there's like the heavy-set woman who's got this big old cleaver, and she's just and she's like just brings it down in this huge tomahawk chop right on top of some large piece of unspecified meat. We're gonna go ahead and kick over then to the Samagina household. You pull the chute door down the rest of the way, Fawn, and then you shine your light. Is that correct? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Okay. So, no, it's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm sure it is.
So you can tell when you open it up that it's too small for anyone to fit in. Maybe a small child, but not for you two. But you can see that the metal tube descends at a fairly severe angle for a not insignificant distance. And you hear, again, the louder thrums of machinery. You're not quite sure what that machinery might be. You're not sure if it's a laundry room or something like that. But you can see as you shine your light, it ends above a dimly lit burgundy rug that you would probably guess is 5 stories down. But you do.
Does that match with the architecture of this
It's
building?
a 3-story home. And that's where you see a shadowed face peering up directly at you.
And what does this face look like?
It's too dark and too far down to really discern, but they're just kind of staring at you right now.
All right. Hello down there.
And you can see that like their head kind of shifts, and they're trying to shout something back at you, but you cannot hear it for the machinery. Like what they got. You can kind of hear the vague sounds of their voice, but the machinery is just too loud.
Is this? I'm gonna wave Vessel over.
You peek down, Vessel, you see the same thing.
I'll toss a book in.
Okay. You toss a book in, and you can see it just drops down. It kind of lands right in front of them. They reach down, they pick it up. They look up at you, and they kind of like shout something. And again, you just can't make it out because there's just like the cacophony of the sounds coming up the metal chute. It's just too much to discern exactly what they're saying.
Well,
So Fawn will close the chute door.
Okay.
And we'll turn to Vessel and do we have something long enough that we could try to send a note down there? Pull it back up again? We had yarn. There was yarn.
Yeah, there's yarn out there.
I'm gonna grab some yarn. Can you
Okay.
find like a post-it note or something?
there's a bunch of paper in here. You can work on that. I'm gonna leave you to your inventions.
Hey, I wanted to ask you real quick, and I'm going to show him the cover of the World Without Doors book.
Okay.
Is that what you saw when you ate the bug?
Oh.
Is that what I saw?
In times 5. I thought you were going to ask about the kids' room. Okay.
I thought.
It's hard to say. Maybe. It doesn't, you don't want to say no, but you don't want to, like, you're not confident enough to say yes. It's like, maybe. Like even now, the images that you were given after eating the bug are kind of, faded to some degree, but it doesn't, you don't want to say no, but you're not entirely comfortable with saying yes, so maybe.
I can't give you a direct answer, so I'll leave you guessing. I'll head out to the kids' room.
Thanks for that
Oh.
sub, Adam.
What's and I'll just be nosy and follow him for a second.
Okay, so where do you go?
I'm just
I'll
gonna.
head back to the kids' room because
Okay.
I didn't really look into it.
Okay. Do you do anything more with the shoot, Fawn?
I'm on my way back out to grab some yarn. I'm
Okay.
just sticking my nose in just to see what I see on my way out.
All right, it literally takes like you step out and then you can step right back in. So 10 seconds if you wanted it to take that long to get the yarn and come back. So you tell me.
Okay. I'll stick to one task and grab the yarn first.
Okay. You get the yarn, go back in. And again, recently in sawdust, kind of awkwardly constructed on the wall, and you pull it down, and you look down, and the face is gone. Don't see
Damn
the
it.
book or anything.
I'm gonna still just kind of write just on a little, piece of paper and, just kind of a little like, who are you?
Okay.
Just a little like, hi, who are you?
Okay.
And just drop it down and just see
All right.
what happens.
You drop it down like you're fishing.
Yeah.
Bait your hook. Vessel, you step into the other room. You see the cardboard city sprawling out in front of you. To remind you, let me pull up my notes again. So most of it is cardboard, but there was kind of a mirror that looks like it was being used as like a lake of some kind. You also noticed that there were like buildings that were kind of constructed out of cardboard. There's like little cardboard people, all that kind of stuff. It's like about, let's see, 1.2 meters by 1.8 meters long. Looks fairly kind of clunky, but doesn't look like it would be too heavy since it's mostly made out of cardboard. What are you looking to do?
I'd like just to prod around, just maybe examine it, see if there's anything else.
Okay. So the top layer looks like a bombed out city surrounding a lake. And that lake is a mirror that's been cut to fit to the cardboard, a hole that's been like gored out into the cardboard. You can see there are small cardboard boats, on the lake. And they seem to be actually being piloted by tiny cardboard people. And some of them appear to be halfway sunk. But that's sort of the top layer. How rough do you want to be with your inspection? Oh, whoever was doing that, thank you so much, anonymous gifter. That's so kind of you.
Oh my goodness, look at all this.
Thank you so much for that. I don't know who you are, anonymous gifter, but thank you. You are far too kind, and we are so not deserving of that generosity. But thank you nonetheless. How rough do you want to be with this cardboard city there, Vessel?
Yeah, I'll mind if things get moved around.
Okay, all right. So you start peeling some stuff back, and you notice that the middle layer of the city looks to be like a clear, hard plastic shaft in the same shape as the perimeter of the lake. And it tracks down about a foot to the model's bottom layer. And then inside this like vertical shaft, and that's like where the mirror is sitting on top of, you can see that they're like cardboard boats. This is sort of like the underwater part of the lake. Cardboard boats are suspended by wires, tilted as if they're flying downwards. And there are these strange looking birds and something large with flippers and that looks far larger than any of these boats. As you're peeling this apart, all these, like, you can see like the glue is kind of sticking together, and like you're having to peel it back. And that's when we'll cut over to Album. There's a shadow in the door. You're standing on top. You're moving your feet. You can feel them getting stuck, as if the soles are melting on a Arizona sidewalk when it's 128 degrees. But yeah, you see a shadow out there. What do you want to do?
When I first got into the workshop, was there were the laundry machines like running at all?
No, you saw a large, kind of a large hamper where it looks like bed sheets were being tossed down into.
Okay. But essentially with the design, or I guess like the setup of the workshop, those, I'm thinking they're either hiding in the washer, or I guess the dryer, as like my only hiding spot. Are there any other good spots that I could duck under or in?
Roll alertness plus 20. This is the second time you've been in here. So see if this gives you an idea of where you might be able to hide. Do you want to reroll?
I love how I have an 84 and I still fail. Yeah, I'll reroll.
Oh dear.
Go.
Okay. Yeah, you think that there's probably two places, maybe in one of the cabinets, you could probably crawl into, but I'm not sure how big. How big is Album? Like tall? Wide?
Let me double check if I wrote that anywhere.
I know you picked a fairly slender like portrait for
Yeah,
you. I wasn't sure how accurate that was.
He's a pretty frail dude.
Okay.
Just looking at like his strength is 7, so he's feeble. That's what I wrote down for his thing. So he's pretty
Okay.
small.
You can
That's
probably
like,
crawl
5'9".
inside of a cabinet, or the laundry basket. It's just a question of why they're coming in here. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll try the cabinet.
Okay. So you crawl into the cabinet and you kind of slide some things around as quickly as you can. You hear like the sounds of squeaking, like sneakers. And then as you pull the cabinet doors closed, you hear like as the double kind of glass, the frosted glass doors open up, and you can hear like the lock in the middle kind of grind against one another, and you hear the sounds of squeaking shoes again, which doesn't make sense with you because like when you were walking, your feet were like literally getting stuck, and you hear someone whistling. You just hear a guy whistling.
This cabinet, I'm assuming, doesn't have like like how like lockers have little vent slits in it. Does this cabinet have anything like that?
No, but you could probably, if you wanted to, try to maybe open it up a little bit, like just like kind of
I'll
push it open,
crack
a little bit.
it just a hair. Yeah.
Okay. You crack it open a hair, and you notice that there is a guy that you've seen before, Orderly Richard Bryce. You can see he's carrying two bags. He's got this duffel bag that he's got over his shoulder. Then he's got what looks like he's dragging across the floor what looks like a fairly big bag of laundry. And you appear to have made the right decision as he drags the bag over and he dumps what looks like a bunch of like kitchen napkins and things into the large laundry bag. Not bag, laundry. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Washing machine.
Hamper. Thank you.
Oh.
And after he does that, he just kind of cracks his back and he turns and he kind of sets the bag on top of one of the counters and he looks right at it and he says, "So what do you want to do after this? Do you want to? I don't know. Yeah, I guess we could do that, but okay. I mean, like if that's sure, yeah. I mean, like okay. I mean, no. That's fine. Yeah. That's good. Okay. And then he just kind of picks it back up and slowly starts to walk out. We're going to switch over to Chelsea. Chelsea. You watch Orderly Gail Houston get up. Kind of gives you a look and smiles, like kind of like this little like like salesperson smile, like, and then goes and dumps her trash into one of the baskets at the back. You notice that it doesn't look like she was eating. Like, she has food, but you don't think she ate anything.
Okay.
Your 30 alertness is enough to see that. And then the door, she pushes it open and she leaves. You look around, and now there's a grand total of 4 people here in the cafeteria. There's you, there's Rudolph, who's like crunching away on his apple and the sandwich, half the sandwich you gave him. And then you've got these 2 people who are in the cafeteria, and you hear like random thump, thump as they're working on probably dinner or something like that.
Okay. Rudolph, what did you say your last name was?
Valader.
Later?
Valader.
Okay.
What's your last name? What did you say your last name was?
What did I say it was? Hazel.
Hazel. Chelsea Hazel.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you in for?
I was just visiting. We're investigating those missing patients that I was asking you about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you like a cop then?
Retired. So sometimes they have us. I was a.
Oh, like you're like a private investigator then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of doing that when I got back from Afghanistan, but it didn't go well, you know.
I understand.
Yeah. These things happen.
Yeah.
We all have our paths to take, right? And he's just like,
You're on
now at this
floor
point
one
he's just
now.
like eating into the core at this
Okay.
point.
Chelsea's gonna stand, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna go check on that nurse who was coughing really bad and see if she's all right."
Ulrika?
Yeah.
She's
She
probably
cough
fine.
often?
She's got a little lump in her throat.
Oh, okay.
Couple of them.
Oh. Like what?
They're lumps.
Oh. And like Chelsea stands up and she's kind of awkward about it. And she's like, "Well, it was nice meeting you."
It's nice meeting you too.
Jeff, his last name's not a demon name, is it?
You don't recognize the name, no.
I didn't see it.
Okay. I was just
I've got it
making
up for
sure.
press.
Guys should have been doing this from the beginning. I like it. We're learning. It's awesome. We're getting better. He's like, okay. Bye now.
Bye. And like I want to like take another glance at like the people who are working in the kitchen to see.
Yeah, you look over and they're not working at all. They're staring directly at you. Both of them.
Okay, so like all 3 of them are just staring at me.
Yeah, you look over, you look back down at Rudolph, and you can see he's already got up and he's beat you to the back of the room, and he just kind of slips through the door and out.
Okay, I'm gonna follow.
Okay, you go out. Do you take your tray with you?
Yeah, I'll like pick up my tray and like
Okay.
properly dispose
Go back
of
down.
it.
You pick your tray up, and you can see that like he left on your tray his apple, and he kind of like bit the apple in such a way. There's this tiny little person that he's left that's just kind of sitting there, like the top of the cork is like the head, and then you can see kind of bit into the bottom, splitting it in kind of an awkward way. You stare at it for a moment. You turn around, you walk towards the door, and as you go to open the cafeteria door, you realize it's locked. We're going to switch over towards Vessel and Fawn.
Oh no.
Fawn, what do you want to do? You just tried to drop a fishing line. You waited a few minutes. Nothing happened.
So I saw the same red carpet and heard the same noise
Mhm.
when I opened it again.
Yeah, you just the figure down there wasn't there anymore.
Okay. Just because I'm going to close the chute and then wait 5 beats and then open the chute again.
And still nothing.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go see what Vessel's up to.
Okay. You walk into the teenage boy's room, and I don't think you know the names of the I can't remember, but I'm just going to use them because saying teenage boy over and over again is kind of weird to me. I'm just going to say Henry is the name. So you walk into Henry's room.
I got that earlier.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
And you can see that Vessel is like ripping apart this very impressive and ornate, but also kind of strange looking model of a cardboard city. And you've gotten to the bottom layer, which is basically the same as the top, except the buildings are kind of whole and they're intact. You can see that there's a large bulbed top palace that stands on the edge of the city. And then in a ring near this palace, you can see that there are scenes of battle that are being played out by cardboard people, Vessel. So think of them like kind of placed in such a way, it looks like they're firing weaponry, carrying swords, stuff like that. There are craters carefully cut into the cardboard, and there's tiny artillery pieces in machine gun teams made of paper. And you have effectively broken down the entirety, every layer of this, and kind of peeled away that's what you need to peel away. It's still relatively intact, but it's in decent shape. But you can kind of stack stuff back on. You've had to peel some glue away here and there to get beneath the lake, but nonetheless, this is impressive work.
Vessel, do you come across anything interesting in that?
Nothing other than it's quite intricate. Does it seem familiar? Is the scene something I know or have seen before?
Okay. I'm going to say
Vaughn can also ask
Yeah.
the question because I've done some architectural research on some of the different houses.
I'm going to say you guys have already kind of been circling around the questions to begin with. Between the vision, the cover of the book, and what you're looking at there, you think piecing all of these three things together, the vision you had after eating the gold bug, looking at the cover of A World Without Doors, and now looking at this from different angles, like one was kind of like a first-person perspective, one was kind of like a distant perspective on the horizon on the cover of the book, and the other is like a top-down, ripping it apart. You think all of those are the same thing. The cardboard city, the vision you saw, the thing on the cover of A World Without Doors, you think it's all the same city.
Okay. My follow-up question, and I'm guessing this might be a no, specifically any of the buildings, because I know we had also looked up some things like the Bellafleur house that had some like spires that was in the description of that house. Is that house like encapsulated in any of the cityscapes?
Nothing that specific. No.
Okay.
No. Now you would think at this point, Vessel, that recording device is probably fully charged.
Yeah, I was gonna head back there.
Okay. All right.
And the tub is probably also drained at this point.
Okay.
Says Melissa. No.
So you head back, and the recording device is definitely charged. Fawn, you walk into the bathroom, and you two are just hit with an overwhelming sense of disgust, as it just like your stomach is just overwhelmed with just not like a nausea. Even the bedroom is beginning to get it, as the door was probably left open. The smell is beginning to cascade out into the rest of the house. Do either of you have forensics at all?
You have 30 in it.
Okay. You would know, and I'm not sure again if we covered this last ep or not, but you would know that there's basically death stains on the walls of the tub. It suggests that a tall person died and rotted. And it indicates, like from your opinion, that the chemicals were poured in after the body mortified. But you also don't notice a corpse. Haven't seen one. And that residue at the bottom, that wasn't like the corpse liquefied. That was just like the runoff from the chemicals. So there was a dead body here, mortified and kind of partially chemically affected. And then you also have the recorder.
So this is a tall person. Can I compare that to photographs that are around?
Sure. You pop out into the hallway or even into the bedroom, and you can see some photos here and there. You've met Samagina, and she's quite short. But you notice that her husband, Philip, seems to be at least 6 foot tall.
Okay. And the teenager?
Teenager, not quite. You can tell he's taller than Esther, than Samagina, than his mom, but not quite to the height of his father just yet. But still probably young enough to get a growth spurt.
So Fawn will kind of show the picture to Vessel and just say,
Henry.
like, so we think the dead guy was the husband?
It's quite possible. It is a strange situation, but where could this body go? It's not here.
Wow, there's that question too. And then there's the clothes that are laid out.
I
Which
haven't
are-
really looked at that, I think.
Men's clothes, not teenage clothes.
Yeah, you saw there's 2 sets of
Oh,
clothes.
that's right. That's right. Because
One of them
band
looks to
t-shirt.
be like a business casual for a male, a tall male. And another one looks like kind of teenage, kind of slacker type clothes. You know, like a band shirt, that kind of thing.
Can I look in? Speaking of clothes, can I look if there's like a hamper or anything to see if there's like
Sure.
dirty men's clothes?
You look inside the closet, and you can see inside the closet there's like a little hamper, and there's more and more of these sets of clothes that are kind of like wadded up. Like you see very specific like kind of groupings of like the like men's clothes, business casual, kids clothes, kind of slackerish looking, almost like a music geek.
While she's doing that, I like to run the recorder a bit.
Okay. You hit the second recording, and you hear that teen's boy voice, presumably Henry, come out again, and it's kind of like this sing-songy, come out, come on out, come out, and then you hear like this rattling noises coming from the background, like there's some sort of struggle, and then you hear a grown man going, "Ah!" Go ahead and roll Sin. As it's just horrible, like violent, terrible scream.
Success.
Okay, you're all right. And it just kind of echoes and echoes. We're going to switch over. Album. You're listening. The door opens again. Closes. You listen for any more sounds, and it's quiet again.
If it's quiet, then I'll hop or quietly come out of the cabinet, and I'll actually take a look in the hamper and just see what kind of items are in there.
Okay. You look around, and you first of all immediately notice all of the epoxy's gone. Looks fine. Everything looks pristine, back to its form it was before. I've already made you roll the sand on it, but I do need you to roll again. So go ahead and roll that.
That's a fail.
Go ahead and take 1 point of sand.
Is this unnatural?
This is from helplessness.
Okay. And is it when you fail, you get a check mark, or is it when you pass?
It's when I think it's when you fail,
But don't break.
but don't break. Like
Okay, so
when you
then-
like when you take sanity, but when you take sanity damage, but don't break.
Okay. So then I've become adapted to helplessness then.
Okay. So you mark it. You're good. You take that 1 point, and you realize like something's going on right now. Like this is like you were confident. You were walking. You left your hiding place. You walked across the floor. Your feet were stuck. You look down at your soles. You don't see like the stains. You don't see the fingertip where you touched, and like it doesn't seem to be changed in terms of color. And it's just sort of a unsettling feeling, knowing that you're wondering about your mind, perhaps, at this point. But you go and you look, and you see what looks like kind of a like it's just sort of an array of like cloth napkins and things that are likely from the cafeteria. Go ahead and roll a search. Okay, with a success. Okay. You notice, kind of wadded up in one of the cloth napkins, you see what looks like a small golden mouse. Like this very tiny, like maybe about yay big. And it's made of what you think is gold.
Like a figurine or like an
Like
actual
a figurine.
living?
Like a figurine, sorry. Yes, very much like a figurine.
Okay.
I realize, we're playing Delta Green, I should clarify.
Yeah, well, because we found the golden bug, I was like, okay, and now there's a golden mouse.
Mhm.
If I take a closer look at this, are there any inscriptions or like markings on it?
No inscriptions or markings. But if you take a closer look, you do notice that it seems to be coated in something. Something kind of a little bit like it's a little damp and sticky. That you can also notice that there's some, it's like on the napkin as well, is like soggy with something. Do you have any like kind of medical skills or anything like that? Anything that might work for you?
I don't believe so. The closest I would have is first aid, but that's only a 10. Everything else is grayed out for like pharmacy and medicine and
Okay.
surgery.
Yeah, and you don't have chemistry isn't the same thing here. Just roll int times 5 then. Okay.
Success.
You're not. You would probably need to get this under a microscope to be sure. But like you're looking at the kind of the coating and stuff on this little tiny figurine, and you're looking at this soggy napkin, and you're seeing like this almost like kind of a mucus, and you're thinking it almost looks like stomach acid or like something that someone might like, it's like phlegm kind of covering it, and like you realize, oh, gross, as you kind of get it on your hands and you drop it really quickly.
Is there a bottle of like any cleaning solutions in
Sure.
this room with me? Yeah, I'll clean my hands and then clean the I guess golden mouse off.
Mhm.
And after I clean it off, Album will kind of just like murmur to it like, "Can you hear me?"
It does not speak back.
Okay. He'll put that in his pocket. And then I think I want to grab a claw hammer and just like a flathead screwdriver.
Okay, done. Easy enough. So you start rummaging through, you clean your hands. You sort of have to like the drawer gets a little stuck, and you just yank it open, makes this loud shattering sound, and you reach and you grab it through things. We'll switch over to Chelsea. Door is locked. You kind of shake it a little bit, but it's locked.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn towards. So there is the lady still there?
Is
Who I
who?
can have the mystery meet.
You turn around. You look over at these two people that are in the kitchen. Like you can see them through kind of like the service window area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see they're both there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, could you let me out? Is there a reason the door's locked?
They're like they're about 60 feet away from you.
Oh, then
Yeah.
I'll start like walking closer so I can call it out to them. But I'm
Okay.
not gonna get,
You start moving towards them, and you can see that they kind of like look at each other, and like you see them almost kind of quickly move to the point where they kind of go out of sight.
Okay.
You hear the sound of something opening and then closing, but you can't see it because like the wall of the kitchen, you see the double doors that go into the back of the kitchen, but you hear something open and close.
What time is it?
It's like late afternoon.
Okay, so the clock is still moving.
Yeah, it's like, 5:30 or so, something like that.
You're not paranoid at all.
5:30 or so. What's the matter, Ashley? You got somewhere to be?
I'm gonna like continue to get closer and just like call it like, excuse me, hello.
Okay. No response.
I'm gonna step behind and like peek through the window, like the
Yeah. Oh, the little like the
pass-through? Yeah, like
yeah, the pass-through window. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you peek in. You can see there's a long like metal countertop. There's like a cutting board, some knives, some pans, and things like that. A couple of big sinks. You notice that there's like something on the cutting board, but it doesn't look like meat.
What is it?
You're not sure. It's kind of wrapped up in some kind of cloth or whatever. Not really sure.
But I don't see them in there.
No, definitely not.
Okay, I'm gonna move into that room
Okay, yeah, you go into the room.
and take the cloth off of whatever's on the cutting board.
Yeah, you pull the cloth off and you can see, looking back up at you, is like the torso of like a marionette. And it's just got this stringy black hair, these big wide eyes, and it's got an I Love Kentucky tourist shirt on. And I need you to roll sand.
Okay, that doesn't like look like anybody, right? This isn't like the one that looks like me.
I mean, it kind of looks like you. It's small.
That's a failure.
Oh.
All right, can you roll a d4?
Is this from Unnatural?
It's gonna be what's it called? Helplessness for now.
Okay, I am adapted to how.
One is the minimum you would take. It's one
Yeah.
1d4, so take one. Okay.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna get a knife.
Sure, you got a knife.
One of the knives.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna do like the whole thing where I kind of like have it like tucked in my sleeve.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take like the other immediate knives that are available and like kick them like underneath the counter so that they're not easily grabbable by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? Is there like a big walk-in freezer or something in here?
Yeah, there's a cooler here. Yeah.
I'm gonna peek it. I'm not gonna go in the cooler, but I'm gonna look in there and see if the people are in
You
there.
open it up and you don't see anyone in there. No,
What other doors are back here?
there aren't any.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go back out into the cafeteria.
You step back out into the cafeteria and you see two large, about 6'3", 6'4" men dressed in orderly outfits, arms crossed over their chests, standing in front of the cafeteria door, blocking the path outwards. We'll switch over to Vessel and Fawn.
No. So I overheard the sounds of someone dying coming from the other room.
You did indeed. You didn't. If you overheard it, then you need to go ahead and roll that same test, by the way. So go ahead and roll that test, sand test for violence. I like Ashley's. I can hear Ashley's okay. Like when she types okay out, I hear exactly what it sounds like when she says it. Okay.
I failed my sand test.
Yeah, go ahead and it's just one. Just take a point.
Okay.
From violence. Okay.
Don't worry, it wasn't me.
What? Well, that I'm glad to hear, but what was that?
It's a recording. Someone possibly murdered, died.
Well, that I guess goes with the dead body in the bathtub.
Yeah, it lines up, but I need to see if there's more of it.
So there's
So
more
just-
recordings. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just keep listening. Just what I get out of it.
Okay. Third recorded file pops up. Again, that is presumably Henry's voice. So, I killed Dad. He didn't want to see it. He didn't want to look. Too bad. So sad. Gotta go. Bottle. That's the end of the third recording.
Bottle.
Fourth recording. Same voice. Making a book. Stay tuned. End of the recording. Next recording comes on. Same voice. Laughing. Dad's back. He's telling me things while he's things for the book. And you hear a door slamming. Put the bottles over there. And then there's like crackling of plastic bags. Sixth recording. You hear a woman's voice. Sounds like Esther's voice. Samagina, the mom. You've seen it? How did you see it? And then the boy's voice comes in the mirror. Do you keep playing stuff?
Yeah, I'll just let it run through
Okay.
the course.
Fair enough. Seventh recording, woman's voice. I think we should, and it cuts off. Eighth recording. Boy's voice comes on again. Mom showed me the mass today. I thought I was, and then you couldn't really hear that one, unintelligible. Lose my mind? Man, she's working on something now. And it cuts off. There's a ninth recording. Boy's voice again. Almost done. Dad has been a great help. Tomorrow, maybe. 10th recording. Teen's voice comes on. He's kind of chanting while the sink is running at like full blast. Show me more, show me more, show me more. And then occasionally you hear like this squeaking sound in the background. And go ahead and roll in times 5, both of you.
Failure.
Okay.
Also failed.
All right. You just hear the squeaking sound. Couldn't quite piece together exactly what was making it. But eventually a second voice speaks in a low, slow, croaking voice. It sounds like a very, very old and sick man is speaking in between like these gasps for air. And this last part is like really slow. There's long kind of breaks in between. It takes about 2.5 minutes to listen to all of this. I won't add the spaces. I'll just read what's said. And occasionally we hear that squeaking sound once more. You hear, and so we end our... No, that's not right. And so we come to our end of sorts. A play that contains multitudes. All who died, all who live, all who yet shall, upon this stage with us, forever. End. Eleventh recording. The teen boy's voice comes back on. I found a way into the mirror. I sent Dad in first. Come find me there. That's the last recording.
Jeez.
Well, that explains why there wasn't a body in the tub. Because Dad was in the tub and then came back. Did you see a way?
There's a sign on the mirror. So a ritual? Who knows?
So if you point it out to Fawn, because Fawn hasn't really been there much. Fawn, you notice in both bathrooms, you guys have both seen what looks like greasy fingerprints that have basically made the yellow sign.
Right.
And you can tell that like there, it's like almost worn. Like it's one pattern over on top of another, on top of another, on top. Like it's been like treading the same pattern over and over again.
Okay. I don't think we want to do it just the two of us, but do we want to do the same thing in a mirror?
Seems crazy, but it's worth a try. I'll just like trace over the indents for the grease.
Okay. So you put your fingers on the mirror, and immediately you notice that there's kind of a give to the mirror. It's sort of got like a push to it, and as you start to trace the sign, you feel your fingertips slipping further and further into the mirror. Both of you roll SAN.
Oh, shit.
Failure.
Fail.
Both of you roll a D4.
Two.
That's how much
4.
sanity you lost from the unnatural you take. Makes sense, Vessel, that yours is the highest, as your hand is almost halfway, almost to the wrist at this, as you continue to sort of trace.
Where are you at with your breaking point there?
Yeah, I was going to ask, 4 is a lot. Do you have any disorders that trigger?
Yeah, I might. Let me check. I'm still good on sand. My breaking's at 36, and I
Do
have
you
44.
You have intermittent explosive disorder.
Yeah.
So losing 2+ sanity in any single roll triggers an acute episode in which your agent explodes with irrational rage. Every outburst is out of proportion to whatever real or perceived threat provoked it. Heart races, body sweats, the head fills with rage, and nothing is safe. Sometimes attacking whatever is in front of your agent is a relief from his or her turmoil.
Well, he's touching a mirror.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I think that it seems reasonable, as this is like this craziness is happening. You're touching a mirror. Like, she's not wrong. Now, don't forget that you can use your bond stuff to push down an acute to try to suppress an acute episode. So you can attempt to repress the blind panic of an acute episode by spending willpower. The amount is always 1d4. If your agent has at least 1 willpower after spending the amount that you roll, then you just sort of describe how a bond might help piece together. So if you want to push this off onto a bond instead of having an explosive disorder right now, you can do that if you have the willpower.
Oh, I do have the willpower, so I'll attempt that.
All right, roll a d4. Okay.
And a 1.
Yeah, so if your agent has at least 1 willpower after spending the amount rolled, describe how a bond might help your agent keep the bond together. Reduce the bond by the same amount. Okay, so reduce your bond score with, who do you have left? Dr. Biggs? Your psychiatrist?
No, my only bond is a lady named Kelly.
Oh, your lady friend.
She's on the deli.
Okay. Go ahead and reduce that by 1.
Okay.
And then go ahead and attempt a sanity roll. And you have to pass this in order to suppress and behave normally.
Oh no.
No, I failed again.
Do you want to use your reroll? I don't think you have. I think Melissa used hers.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Go right ahead.
Oh no.
It's no good.
And unfortunately,
So I'll just burst into a rage pretty much.
and you start,
I just like start punching the mirror or something. Like, it doesn't
I-
make any sense.
and I love what Melissa said, as you punch the mirror, your hand goes directly through it. It doesn't shatter. It doesn't break. Your hand pushes through with like heavily thick and resistant water, and it's through, and you can feel the opposite side as like rage kind of starts taking over. You start kicking the cabinet, and we're going to go ahead and switch over then to Album. Album, you're looking around. You've got your claw hammer. You've got your screwdriver. You see no epoxy. Orderly Bryce is gone. What do you want to do?
I'm assuming it's still afternoon.
So from what you can tell, you don't have any like windows down here in the basement, but judging from the clocks, yeah, it looks like it's 5 o'clock or so.
Okay.
You would probably guess that you need about another hour and a half to 2 hours to get, if you wanted to stay till nightfall. So you have to stay hidden until then.
Yeah, I think then Album would just move back into the maintenance cabinet or closet,
Okay.
and just kind of keep continuing to wait.
Okay, yeah. You do, no problem. You slip out into the hallway. You look left, you look right, and there's no one there. You hear the sounds of the elevator. And you open the door back up. You crawl back inside. You take a seat. Meanwhile, upstairs, Chelsea, you're staring at these two orderlies.
Do they look like orderlies or do they look like marionettes?
They look like humans. Yeah.
Okay.
They've got orderly outfits on. From this
And
distance.
I've never seen them before?
Maybe in passing, but you haven't interacted with them, no.
She's gonna be like, oh, thank God somebody's here. Can you let me out, please? I don't understand why the door was locked.
They kind of look to each other. And they look at you. And they begin moving in your direction. You see one of them kind of reaches down into what looks like almost like a little fanny pack and starts pulling out a fairly large syringe and is like kind of it's kind of pulling out something from some sort of medical little jar, or like one of those little like you know what I'm talking about. There's got to be a name for those.
Yeah.
But
Little vial.
Yeah, little vial. There we go.
Yeah.
As the other one is kind of closing in, what do you do?
Run. I'm gonna run. Can I go like to where the living quarters are for the patients and stuff?
Yeah, you have to get past them. What's your dex? Let's give me your dex score.
You're cornered in the kitchen.
You're
and
cornered.
he
You're
goes
cornered in the
kitchen.
cafeteria kitchen area. Yeah, like they were coming from the doors to the outside, like to get out of here. Like you're kind of trapped basically.
Gotcha. Okay.
What's your dex?
My dex is 10.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not good, but it's not bad.
Ashley.
Sorry, I'm just looking up rules for character death really quick.
That's fair.
Excuse you.
Only take a second.
You die, you're dead.
I'm pretty sure it's again terms of service to bully Jeff.
It's all just role play.
Ashley, you're all by yourself.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. They're gonna go first, unfortunately. Yeah, one of them is going to come up and attempt to just kind of hold you down, just kind of grapple you, basically. So go ahead and you can just roll. We'll just roll contested strength. Strength time. I think it's just strength times 5 is probably fine. Let me see if there's an unarmed. Let's do unarmed combat instead. Okay, yeah, let's do unarmed combat. So roll unarmed combat. And I have 80.
Have you used your reroll yet, Ashley?
Yeah, I did earlier,
Okay.
I think.
They do manage to grapple you essentially. So this one guy comes up, you try to get around, he pushes like one of the tables and kind of cuts you off and keeps you cornered in like this little wedge, and he comes over and he just grabs you by both of your arms at this point, and you're just like the other one also unfortunately has a higher dex than you, and will come up and is going to spend their turn drawing the draught, but you can see that they're getting ready to inject you. What would you like to do?
I would like to.
Demand to speak to their manager.
That would do me any good.
I'm chaotic neutral. I'm chaotic neutral for it. Cause some
I
problems.
want to roll to escape a pin.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a strength time 5 or unarmed combat.
Yeah, one of the two.
Strength time 5 would be better for me.
Okay, go ahead. First, and it's contested, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Two.
success.
Okay. Okay, so that's 2. Okay, this is where I forget with the contested stuff, because you've got 2 over 50. I have 15 over 80. I think you're success. I think you succeed. Yeah, I think you succeed.
Yeah.
So I think you break out of the pin. Damn, girl. So yeah, you managed to squirm out, and there you go. Maybe you stumble a few steps, but
Your agent's no longer pinned, and the escape roll defends against other attacks until your agent's next action. So if it fails, your agent remains pinned and cannot defend against attacks.
okay. So this will also work against when they come at you. So that's on your turn. You pinned, and so now we start like the next round, and they're both going to come at you. One of them will once again, as they're just trying to wrestle you to the ground. They're just trying to pin you on the ground. So this guy comes up, and you can see the one that you just kind of squirmed out of. He's just going to try to reach and grab you by your shoulder and just sort of prevent you from slipping away at this point. So it's the same thing. Roll your. Okay, I'm rolling really well, but this is a new round because you went last, right? So I think since this is a new round, would you be doing the same thing again? So you can roll your.
Yeah, did I miss because it says your agent's no longer pinned, and the escape roll defends against other attacks until my next action.
Until your next action. Okay, so then that will be. So yeah, you're successful against that as well, and then the other one will try to do it, and he'll fail as well, and he'll go kind of stumbling and fall to the ground as you manage to like kind of kick his leg out, and he'll stumble to the ground a bit. So the one with the syringe has fallen to the ground. The other one is still standing but hasn't quite gotten a hold of you.
Okay, I want to run.
Okay.
Or move, I guess is the term for it.
Okay. Where to?
I want to try because I already tried the front doors out to the entrance, and I knew that was locked. So I'm gonna presume it's still locked, and she's gonna try and go further into the building.
Okay, you can go further into the kitchen. Like you can go back into the kitchen. So there's
no door to. It's just the same door.
Yeah, there's basically a way into the cafeteria area. Like that's basically it. That's it. And when you went into the kitchen, you didn't notice any other doors.
Do they have like a key card or something hanging on like their belts or something?
They do.
I want to snatch one, or try to anyways.
Okay. So yeah, I it'll probably just be an unarmed combat. Like you reach out and kind of grab a thing. Yeah.
By the way, are we supposed to be seeing your rolls, Jeff? Because we've seen the last 3.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time, I don't mind with public rolls. Like I usually like to roll out in the open. Occasionally, I got to roll something secret, but most of the time, it's out in the open. Okay. So you reach out, you try to grab it, but unfortunately, it does not work. The one guy who has not fallen on his ground will once more just try to. He's just going to try to talk you to the ground. So he's just going to come at you one more time. There's just once more unarmed combat. What would you? Are you going to? You have to just do your contest roll. 47 over 80 for me.
Failure.
93 over 50, and he gets you, and you're once more pinned as you snatched. You went and reached for his card, and in doing so,
he like got me.
you stayed right there, and he just kind of wrapped around you now. The other guy, he will. he'll stand up, and he'll just kind of, as in the process of standing up, just get closer to you. But I'm gonna say can't really do much anything else at that point. But you can see he's like they're kind of pulling back your hair, and they're going for your like he's getting ready to inject you in the neck. What do you want to do?
I want to try to. I probably have to escape, or like get out of his handhold again, or can I try and like disarm the shot from the other guy?
I think you would probably need it because I think the idea is he's
Like,
literally
he's
like
got
bear
both
hugging
arms
you.
then?
So I would
Okay.
say you got to unpin yourself.
Yeah, then I'm gonna
kick it
try to
out?
escape again. So that's my strength.
Well, okay, that's fine. We'll just go with that. Old well. Okay, and you managed to get free. You're just squirming free again. All right. So that's gonna be 19 basically until your turn. I think they're getting tired of this, and so one of them is just going to basically punch you in the face at this point.
Okay.
The one who's been trying to grab you, you keep breaking free. He's just getting so fed up. I think he's just going to try to knock you out. Like, I think it's going to be one of those like
Okay.
he's not trying to kill you. He's just trying to like cold cock you right across the jaw at this point.
This hospital's abusive.
Yep. It's an 80 I need. 18 is good.
Oh my goodness.
Better than my 19.
Gabriel Diaz Fireman, thank you very much.
Oh my god.
So kind of you. Did you know?
I did.
And we had a
Fair
posture
enough.
check earlier.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I guess in return we should.
Okay. Thank you so much. We got a bunch of gifted subs tonight. You guys are all so very nice. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. Take 4 points of damage.
Yeah, I have 2 health.
Yeah, I think, and I'm just gonna rule it as he's just trying to cold cock you, like
Yeah.
as opposed to kill you, and so he's just gonna knock you out. So you get away, you go to spin and try to like kind of push off, and he just big meaty paw right across your chin, your chin, and down goes Chelsea.
Oh no. Where are you gonna
I
be?
swear, if I wake up in the room, like the blood writing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Or you're
In-
the first one to arrive of the 4.
In the Samagina household, Fawn, you watch as Vessel has recklessly started to punch the mirror and is like screaming and kicking. But you notice that Vessel, as this is happening, and like you're just like so frustrated, your frustration and your anger, you kind of your hands go through and you can feel this almost like an ice, like a coldness on the other side, like soft, kind of a hybrid of like clay and ice. And roll a luck test.
It fail.
Oh,
It's
no.
okay. Crit doesn't matter. Okay. But yeah, you reach through and you can feel like space on the other side. Like this kind of strange, almost like kind of like a thick water of space. Fawn, you're
angry.
watching him as he's just sort of like struggling in anger. What do you guys want to do?
I'm not stuck, am I?
Yeah, I was just double checking something really quick.
I'm of 2 minds. One mind is pull him out. Other mind is dive in.
Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I want to double check something.
Mirrors, how do they work?
What'd you say, Long?
Mirrors, how do they work?
Aliens. Does he see his hand through the mirror? What the fuck's going on?
Oh yeah, does he
That's
see
a
his
good
hand through the
question.
mirror?
No, he
Put a
does
bunch of
not.
money on the cabinet, like on the countertop, and then reach through the mirror, pull the reflection out. Infinite wealth. Just keep doing that.
this is what we do now.
It's a
So
get rich quick scheme.
as you try to like move your arm back out. Like there's resistance, but yeah, you're able to pull it back.
Might as well see what's on the other side. Maybe I'll stick my head through.
What did you feel on the other side?
It's cold and empty.
Like the vacuum of space, so I'm
Sorry.
gonna stick my head in there.
I just wanted him to say, "I'm just like your life," because he's so angry and he just like lashes out at Fawn. Oh. So what do you guys do?
I will try my best to like anchor him back while he's sticking his head through, so
Okay.
that if he starts like seizing or something, I can pull him back.
Stop touching me.
Yeah.
Okay.
After he stops kicking.
So Vessel, you press your face against the mirror and you push it through.
Yes.
Okay. You get like as your head kind of slowly pushes through, you can feel that there is this like thick water that your head emerges into. You get the sense that you could potentially kind of like swim. Go ahead and roll a sanity test first, and I'll tell you what you see.
Does he see the monster thing
Fail.
that was in the layers of the thing?
Go ahead and roll a 1d6 there, Vessel.
1d6.
What, D6?
Yeah.
D6.
Fuck.
Oh,
5.
Yeah, your
Oh, jeez.
your anger leads to this bizarre fascination. Oh boy, how's that? How are you looking on your breaking point, by the way?
I'm 3 off.
Okay. Roll a alertness or search, whatever you prefer.
Alertness.
Okay.
Success.
Okay. You get the sense that the water, like it's water over here, it's dark. You could tell that you can't breathe in it, but you can kind of hold your breath. You feel like you could potentially swim in here. As you're looking out, you notice that there is a lanky, rotten corpse that's floating in the black just inside the mirror, just a few feet away from you, just really close. Go ahead and roll another sand test.
Oh,
As
This
you
is what
see
happens.
this gross, disgusting floating thing, roll a d6. This is from violence. Are you adapted to violence?
I'm not.
Okay, roll a d6.
6.
Take
3.
3 points.
That'll put me at 36. Is that break or?
Yeah, if you meet, you do break. I'm pretty sure.
It's a temporary insanity. We're going to play it out. Don't worry. Okay. But you can see the body. It's just like right there. What do you want to do? Do you want to keep looking? Do you realize it's not that far away? You could probably reach out and grab it, or you can just kind of keep looking around and sort of trying to see if there's anything else in here as you're peering around this slowly revealing darkness that you now see.
Totally pull it back through.
Yeah, I'm already neck deep, so might as well go all in.
All right, roll another alert or search, whichever you prefer, alertness or search.
Success.
Okay, you see that there's these small pinpoints of light at various spots elsewhere in the darkness. You get the impression that like these might be like other portals, like other mirrors or windows or something like that. Roll another sand test. I like how you're just double downing on this. Is your
Oh, dear.
mind just melting right now?
I failed again.
Oh my gosh.
Take 1 sanity from the unnatural. It's the fascination is just immense. You get the feeling that you could potentially swim to one of them.
I give into that feeling and start going toward it.
Long, I love you, man. Okay.
So remember that I was trying to hold you here on the other side, so you just like kick.
Yes, I'm just like kicking and
Yeah,
shoving
he just
whatever
like donkey
resistance I have.
kicks you.
Oh.
Okay. Fawn, in the bathroom, you watch as Vessel just crawls into the mirror.
Oh no. of a bitch.
First his shoulders, then his chest, kicking, knocking various things around until his entire body has been submerged into the mirror. What are you doing?
I've got to stick my head through. Like, I'm going to try to... I had pulled out a bunch of yarn when I was trying to put the thing down, so I'm going to try to do the, like, tie some yarn around my waist, tie it around, like, the bathroom door or something, just to try to get, like, an anchor back here going on.
Okay.
Best I can.
All right. So you're doing the yarn. Okay. Now I got to do a private roll really quick. Okay. Roll an alertness test, plus 20.
Oh, I'm not so good at that. This is just going to be straight.
It's a good metaphor
plus
for
20,
it.
I still failed.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
What would I not see?
You stick your face into this thing, and immediately you feel this cold, kind of pliant, kind of soft ice give way to kind of like this thick water.
Do I see Vessel?
You immediately see Vessel, who seems to be swimming through the darkness past what looks like a floating dead body of some great kind of desiccation and mortification. Go ahead and roll a sand.
Keep in mind, just to set the stage here, that I am 2 points away from a breaking point at 26.
Guys are crazy.
Oh, I failed by 1.
Roll a d8.
What the hell?
Sorry.
2.
Take 2 points of sanity at seeing this horrific. This is from violence. This is from
All right,
violence.
hold on.
Are you adapted to violence?
No, I'm not adapted to violence.
Take 2 points.
Oh
God.
I need to try to use some willpower here.
Oh God. Okay, you're trying to. All right, go ahead and. Is this hitting you? Is this hitting temporary insanity for you? Is that what's going on?
It would if I took the 2, yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna burn your willpower to push this off onto a bond.
Yeah, I think I'll do that, and then if I need that reroll for this other part, I'll use the reroll for that.
Okay, so spend your. All right, so protecting. So when you lose sand, you can spend willpower to reduce the loss. The amount of willpower loss is always 1d4. So roll a d4.
All right, good, because I have 5, so.
Okay.
So 2
So
willpower
if
left.
after reducing willpower, so you have to spend 3 willpower, and you still have 1 willpower left, you can reduce the sanity loss by the amount of willpower that you just spent. So in this case, you can reduce it to 0. And now you also reduce a bond score by the same amount.
Okay.
And the next time you interact with that bond, you decide what that looks like. Okay? So you stick your head in, and you see this horrific, and you feel like almost a sense of nausea overtake you. But you manage to push it down. Focus. The coldness is pretty intense. You see him swimming away. Roll a alertness or a search, Fawn.
Ugh. 34 and 35, so I'll go with the 35 and a fifth. 39.
Yeah, that's all you see. It's just him swimming away and this body floating in front of you. What do you want to do? You don't see what he's swimming off to, by the way. He's just swimming off into the darkness.
I'm gonna try yelling.
Okay, you open your mouth. It's like
I assumed
it's not working.
I just wanted to give it a shot. Is the body close enough that I can try to pull the body back through?
Sure can. Roll a strength times 5.
That's a success.
Okay. You grab the body and you pull as best you can, and you just. As you do, the body comes tumbling through the mirror with you and falls on top of you. This horrible mess of which you presume is probably Philip Samogina's corpse, which essentially launches itself out of the mirror and covers you in this horrible stench, this sick mass of some kind of awful, like, decaying skin and tissue and bone, the smell of chemicals, and falls on top of you. It's at that point that you look behind you and you see standing in the bedroom is Esther Samagina. Vessel, you continue to swim to one of the far off lights. Is that correct? Is that what you want to do? Okay. Roll another alert or search, and then I need you to roll con times 5 when you can.
I failed the alert.
Oh, wow. And then roll con times 5.
Con. Good success on the con.
Okay. Nice. All right. Good to know. All right. Yeah, it's still a lot of darkness in here. You didn't notice Fawn coming into the mirror with you. You didn't notice the body getting pulled out. You just get your eye fixated on one of these points of light. Like, just like you're almost like you're seeing red. You just see like this point of light, and you're just pissed off, and you're swimming, and you're swimming, and you're swimming. Back in the bathroom, you look up and you see Esther Samagina is standing in her bedroom, and she's looking into the bathroom, Fawn. The body of her husband is on top of you right now. What do? She sees you. You're not hidden.
No, didn't think so.
The alertness roll you didn't pass was hearing her come in the door.
Yeah. I'm just gonna jump right in. You been in there before?
You have a desiccating, decaying corpse over top of you that you just pulled through the mirror. You look at her, it's on top of you. You turn and you say, "Have you been in there before?" Okay. She looks at you.
I'm gonna scooch out from beneath
She looks at the body, she looks at you, and she bolts. She just runs.
Okay.
You vaguely hear like you won't stop my work.
I will run after her.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a strength times 5 to see if you can easily get this body off of top of you.
Yep, 75.
Okay.
180.
Wow, you're really strong for an old lady.
I
yeah.
am really strong.
You push her off, you start scrambling up, slime-covered vessel, nowhere to be seen. And as you step out into the hall, you look as she's like kind of standing right at the door, or excuse me, right at the stairs. She kind of knocked the sewing machine down into the middle of the hall, and then it looks like she's got a lighter out and she's lighting something, and she throws it at the wall, which immediately bursts into flame, just raging inferno all the way down the hall as the linseed oil that had been painted and coated over the walls suddenly catches up into flame. Inside the mirror, you continue to swim. Roll another search or alertness there, Vessel.
Success.
You look off to your left ever so slightly, and you can see that there is another person in here with you. It's not the body. Doesn't look like Fawn. It looks like a man who's just kind of nonchalantly swimming in the distance. He's got this white suit and this bright red tie, and if not for the brightness of his clothes, you probably wouldn't even have seen him. He's at least about 100 meters away. You can't really see his face, but he seems entirely undisturbed by the environment itself, just so ever so casually, just swimming through this void. Go ahead and roll a sand test.
Another failure.
Take another point from unnatural. Album. Some time has passed, and you suddenly smell smoke. You look around and you can see coming like up underneath the door once more, there's these little bits of kind of gray-white smoke that appear to be puffing into the small cabinet that you're in, the small closet, I should say, that you're in.
Not that it makes it. I don't know how much of a difference it'll make, but is this like, does it smell like something like wood that's burning, or some kind of like party popper smell, or could I recognize?
In ×5.
Okay. Success.
It smells like chemicals are burning. Specifics you're not entirely sure, but it smells like there's an accelerant.
Okay. And it's coming from under the door seam, correct? Not the like maintenance, not the elevator itself.
It's coming out from, yeah, it's coming underneath the door of the closet that you're in, up into your face.
Okay. And there's no like fire alarm sounding or anything?
You do not hear anything like that. Nope.
Album is just gonna sit in the closet and say like, okay. He's gonna like try and rationalize this. So he's just gonna say like, fire system's not going off, smoke detectors aren't going off, like this isn't real. He's gonna kind of just like not curl up in a ball necessarily, but just kind of close his eyes and just like do like looks like he's meditating almost, just trying to convince himself like this is just a hallucination, like it's not real.
Perfect. Back in Samagina house, the fire is very real, Fawn, and you see immediately that she bolts down the stairs. Now, what is your dex score, Melissa?
14.
Oh, very good. Very good. You are immediately overwhelmed by not just smoke, but flame, like literally roaring flame. You're on the uppermost, the third floor of this building, and you can tell that whatever they coated in the walls has erupted. And while Samagina is somebody you definitely want to get, you suddenly realize your safety, your ability to get out of this building is seriously in question as the fire.
Vessel's in the mirror.
Vessel is in the mirror. So we're going to basically be in structure time. So you're going to get basically an action every turn. So what is it you would like to do? Like if you're looking to escape, I'm going to need a dodge or an athletics roll to basically avoid taking damage from the fire. But you know that you could conceivably just jump out a window, but that would mean falling 3 stories to the ground and taking damage. You could go downstairs, jump out a window. You could just try to run, but basically there's a distance, and each time we come around to like your turn in the structured time, you're gonna risk whatever you're doing. You're risking the potential issues with a fire. So knowing that Vessel is behind you in the mirror, knowing that Samagina just ran down the stairs, and knowing that all this fire and smoke is beginning to just overwhelm the house in an instant, what do you do?
Damn it. I think I have to go into the mirror.
You have to go back into the mirror.
Definitely thinking between those two things. Either going in the mirror or going out the front door.
I do want to point out, because when Vessel went in the mirror, he succeeded on a search alertness that allowed him to see the other points of light that he thought might be a way out. You did not pass that test. So if you're making that decision based upon that, remember that's information that your character doesn't have. So if that's part of your decision-making process, just consider that.
No,
Okay.
it's more that like he went in and I don't know that there are other ways out. So I'm actually trying not to meta it. Like I don't know that there are possibly other ways out. I think that's the only way
Okay.
out.
I will stress that like the fire has erupted very quickly. This is like because the walls were soaked in this flammable oil that is erupted really, really quickly. You don't have a ton of time.
All right, I'll go.
I'm not
out.
saying
Can I
to
get to the
run or
front
leave.
door?
I just want you to make as an informed a decision as possible.
I'll go chasing after her.
Okay, roll a dodge or athletics roll, whichever you prefer.
Athletics is 32, dodge is 30, so athletics failed.
Okay. Go ahead and take 1 point of damage as you start pushing your way down the hall, trying to get to the stairs. When like the fire just like lashes out at you, and you can feel like on your arm, like a bit of the flame comes out, and you feel the burn. Okay. Whatever she threw down in the way, that sewing table has ignited as well, and it's kind of blocking. So you're trying to very carefully and slowly move past it. It's taking longer than you would like. You remain kind of stuck up on the 3rd floor at the end of this turn structure time. In the mirror, Vessel, go ahead and roll search alertness one more time.
It's a fail this time.
No.
Okay. You're getting closer and closer to that light, but you don't see anything else in the dark. Album, you're in your sense of meditation, and your nostrils are just getting fuller and fuller with smoke. You start to realize this might not be as imaginary as you think it is, as when you open your eyes, the entirety of this closet is now filled with smoke, and you're coughing from how much is like kind of overtaking you inside of here.
He'll open the door and then crawl on his stomach.
Okay.
I guess I'd have to make a move for a staircase. Yeah, sorry, the bird says hello.
That's
I'll crawl toward the staircase, since that's really the only way out of this hallway.
Okay, you crawl out. Roll a dodge or athletics, whichever you prefer. Chelsea, check the journal. There is a hospital information handout only for you.
I made my athletics roll.
Okay, you slowly start crawling past the elevator towards the staircase. Back inside the burning building of the Samagina household, stuck on the 3rd floor. Fawn, you've just managed to get past what looks to be an ignited sewing kit. What do you want to do?
Keep going.
All right, dodge or athletics roll.
Same thing. Athletics. Can I try that reroll that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. It's only a 32, but
I think we had extra ones from Aaron anyway.
8. Success.
All right. You managed to make it to the staircase and stumble down. You kind of reach out, put your hand on the railing, and realize that like it's on fire, and your hand's now burning. But you manage to dodge out of the way of this like roaring inferno. You watch as like the walls themselves are kind of melting down, and you've reached the 2nd floor. Inside the water, the cold, icy water, Vessel, go ahead and roll another alertness / search, whichever you prefer.
Dang, I keep failing somehow.
Yeah, it's all right. You reach the edge of what looks like a bright kind of rectangular portal. You can't really see exactly what's on the other side. All you see really is mostly just light. You just see this clarity, and when you look back, you can see there's light everywhere else. What would you like to do?
See if I can go through any of these. It's
Yeah.
something I can go into. Yeah.
Okay. You reach your hands through, and you feel that same cold resistance. You kind of grasp something firm on the outside and slowly begin to pull yourself through. You're feeling like almost like glass kind of sketch and tear against your face as you start pulling yourself through. Fawn, you're on the 2nd floor. You look around. You see that the entire apartment is on fire. You can't see well at all. You can't kind of discern anything. You have a vague recollection of where the staircase was. You're listening. You're hearing stuff fall onto the ground here and there. Mm-hmm. The house is just a giant fireball at this point. And you notice as you look down that the rug is just scorched black. I need you to roll a search to see if you can first find your way out.
Wow, I rolled a 2. Success.
So you kind of stumble towards where the staircase is, and you kind of reach out and grab the banister. Roll a dodge or athletics.
Fail. 58.
Okay. As you do, roll 1d4 minus 1.
So the 1d4 is 2 minus 1 is 1.
Take 2 points of burn damage, and you just look down the stairs, and there's just a giant burst of flame that prevents you from going down. You do see a window off to the side. You're on the second story now, so you have a choice to make. Inside the hospital, Album, you slowly start kind of crawling. Go ahead and roll a search test.
Success.
You manage to kind of worm your way over, and you put your hand down on like the first step, and you realize kind of with a start that it is not like the kind of rubbered linoleum that you remember when you saw the staircase earlier. It's carpeted. You look up the staircase and you can see this massive raging inferno. The staircase itself has like a wooden handrail along the left side. It's got this blue carpeted steps that are all on fire, and you see a figure standing at the top, just staring down at you. Empty black face, empty black torso, and just this cloak looking down at you. Fawn, what do you do?
I am. Oh, gosh. I'm going to try to just kind of pull kind of whatever I'm wearing just sort of up over my face and just try to leap forward.
You're going to leap out the window?
No, forward, because it was window or
Okay.
down.
All right. Dodge or athletics, but this is going to be at minus 20%.
Oh, hell. Fail.
You leap forward, covering yourself, and kind of throw yourself down the stairs at this point, and you tumble and you take burns, 1d4 points of damage.
2.
You turn around and you look up, and you see this roaring fire. You see a blue carpet. You see the walls melting, and you see a figure in a golden robe that seems utterly unaffected by the flames, standing at the top of the stairs, looking down at you. I need both you and Album to roll sanity tests.
Success.
Okay.
Fail.
1 point for Album from the unnatural, and roll a d6, Fawn.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's bad.
You can't push that off anymore, can you?
No, I only have 2 willpower.
Okay. What's your...
Did you use the 100 bits for my anti-male bullying?
She used it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I used it
Ah,
when you
You're
had stayed away.
anti-male, but I'm not bullying. I'm just GM.
So I am now... Yes, I blew past my breaking point.
Okay. And you have disorders, right? For taking 2 or more?
I believe that came with the depersonalization disorder, I believe. Yes.
Okay. You don't see any sign of Samagina. Vessel, your head pierces through the mirror, and you see what looks like a bathroom. Relatively clean, actually. Very clean. Numerous stalls, numerous sinks, kind of a dark, like gray Formica countertop. Looks like, a public bathroom or a bathroom for a business. You see there's a window off to your left as you start to pull yourself down onto the countertop, and then you kind of like fall down on the floor. There's no one in here with you. All the stalls look to be empty, a couple urinals as well as men's bathroom. You look up at the window and you can see it's kind of got like a fading light to it, like late afternoon, early evening. You notice there are bars on the window.
Am I wet at all from somewhere?
Yeah, you've got this like a thick, grimy coating over top of you. You feel actually a little cool, in fact. Not cold so much as like you can feel deep into your chest this coolness settle into you. Roll alertness.
Success.
You look over and you can see on the back of the door that leads out, there is an emergency escape plan. And you can see that there is a name of the building engraved into the placard, and it says Dorchester Psychiatric Facility. Album. Roll a con times 5.
I failed.
Okay. This figure looks down at you, and you begin to just cough and cough and cough and cough and cough and cough.
There's no window in this stairwell, right?
You don't see any. It doesn't even look like the same stairwell when you came down here. You watch the figure slowly start to go down the stairs. And just as it kind of reaches out, and you can see the cloak kind of unfurl and what looks like some kind of limb begin to emerge, you just cough yourself into an utter blackness and you lose consciousness from inhalation. Back in the Samagina household. Okay. You have stumbled down the second stairs and you are basically outside of the single person's home down here on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
The door is open out into the wild. Like you can leave. But looking up, you see this figure. What do you want to do?
I look around to look for if I see Samagina down here.
Roll. Actually, no. Don't roll. You don't.
Okay, so now I am out
You could
in this building.
You could step outside into the fresh, which looks like early night air.
And then there's the possibility that this thing could follow me out into the fresh air.
You'd have no idea. This thing's just kind of staring there, looking down at you.
Is there anything that I can grab to have in my hands? Like, is there
there's like a welcome mat you could roll up or something. It doesn't seem to be moving towards you, by the way. It's just kind of standing up on top of the stairs.
And you said it's a figure in a gold robe?
Gold robe, kind of a shadow where the face should be, as the cowl is up. The torso, same kind of thing. You got the vague contours of legs, because you can see the sort of the back golden of the gold parts of the cloak, but it's just standing there. And it reminds you exactly of Thomas Manuel's painting from the basement of the McAllister building in 1995.
Well, shit.
What would you like to do?
So I'm going to roll up that welcome mat because I'm trying to remember here that we're supposed to try to keep these things out from being out in the world.
Mm-hmm. There is a rate. Like, by the way, it's literally like waiting in fire. Like fire is just like warping around it, and it's like has no effect on it whatsoever. It's got an effect on you, but it doesn't seem to have an effect on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna from here just sort of just try to shout up like you don't belong here.
Okay, you shout. It's fine.
If there's any reaction.
Just kind of stands there and lingers for a while, watching you. Kind of waiting to see if you do anything. And other than shouting, do you do anything?
Yeah, I'll just see what happens if I just grab something out of my bag and just chuck it at it.
Okay. I mean, it like you throw something up there and it gets engulfed by flames like almost immediately.
I want to see if it's going to follow me because I don't want it to follow me out. So if I start to back up, what does it do?
It stays there. It just stays there. This dead, black, shadowy face. Like you don't see eyes, you don't see a face. It's just a shadow looking down at you. And you start to back out into the...
Yeah.
Again,
And I'll see.
the house is coming down on you, just so you know. Like, the house will collapse relatively soon.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to have to make a decision.
Can I...
Do you stay or do you go, basically, is what this boils down
I'll
to.
go if it's not following, and I'm going to try to bang on the doors around and see if
There's
I can,
only one door, and that is the woman that you and Vessel spoke to. And you can see that she's probably already outside at this point, like staring up. She's got a cell phone out. She's like calling fire departments and screaming. You can see some of the neighbors are trying to come out of their homes as well.
Okay, I'm going to just try to see if I... Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
Okay, so you leave. Vessel, you're inside the bathroom of the Dorchester Psychiatric Facility. There's no one around you. You are coated in some sort of liquid. You're still just pissed off, and you might even be even more pissed off at this point as you look around. You wait a couple beats. Fawn does not come through the mirror after you. What do you do?
Can I discern what level I'm on?
Roll int times 5.
Failure.
No, you don't. You're not sure. It's pretty clean, so you'd imagine it's probably not the top one, but it might be first or second floor, but you're not positive.
I'll just take some layers off, just throw it on the ground.
Okay. You slowly... No problem.
And then I'll peek through the door, see if anyone's around, hear anything.
Okay. You peek through the door and you see a fairly dark hallway with kind of a sort of a flickering light here and there, like fluorescent lights coming and peeling out of the walls. You look around and you can see that there's some people here and there to the left, to the right. They look to like have these big old terry cloth robes and are moving about in patient gowns just slowly. A couple doors are open here and there. With your high alertness, you notice that some of the doors that you've seen before, like the security doors, are wide open.
I'll get a layout, or I'll study the exit that's on the door.
Yeah. You go and you close the door back up and you look at the map and you study it and you look and there's something about it, like the geometry of it all just doesn't really make sense. Like even the emergency plan seems to sort of be this strange circuitous route that doesn't ever actually leave. It just sort of returns you back to the you are here.
I want to leave and go just to the security rooms to see if I can avoid people noticing if possible.
Okay. Roll a stealth.
It's no good.
Okay. Yeah, you step out. You start moving around. You see some people that you sort of recognize from earlier when you were here. You see others that don't look as familiar. It feels later than you remember. Like when you're at the Samagina household, when you were climbing into the mirror, there was like light coming through the window, like a little bit. You look around, it's just got this sort of darkness to it. Like it just feels very late at night, and people are just sort of moving about in this sort of slow, kind of plodding way. You notice a door is open off like up to the left as you're moving in, and you see a person laying there in the bed. And like there's something about the face that just looks so familiar. Like the hair is kind of all messed up and sort of disheveled. And you notice, like, as you kind of get a little bit closer and the light kind of flickers on, you see Album asleep.
I'm gonna poke at him. All right, I'll go to the room first.
Okay, you step into the room.
I'll see if I can wake him.
You wake him up. Album, you instinctively start coughing. You've been last thing you remember is having a weird nightmare about fire and smoke, and you see Vessel standing over top of you.
When did you get here? When did you get in Dorchester? Where am I?
Exactly what you just said. But
What? I was in the stairwell. Why am I in a room? Why am I in a bed?
I can't explain that, but I just got here myself. I have no idea how.
Well, what are we even? Are we patients? How are we in a room?
I just found you lying here, man. I know their context.
Looking around, do I recognize where in the hospital I am?
You first thing you notice is that Vessel has a terry cloth robe on. He's got these patient gowns, and he's got these slippers on. And you see, like, over to the other side of the room, there's another bed. It's empty currently. There's a window that doesn't seem openable, that's got bars, that's not letting any light in, and it's like high up in the ceiling. And yeah, you look out and you peek into the hallway, and one of the patient levels, you're not sure.
Do I have my hammer and my screwdriver on me?
Yeah, you look down and you realize that the screwdriver that you have in your hand is this kind of large yellow gold marker, Crayola on the side. You look down at your hammer, and it looks like you have what amounts to like some kind of stuffed animal, kind of like a stress thing, and you're just holding both of them in your hand, looking at them.
Do I have a wristband on?
You look down at your wristband, and it's got your name, Benjamin Lancet, around your wrist.
The stuffed animal in my hand is going to be an elephant for flavor text. So I'm just going to like collapse to the floor and just start petting the elephant. And then just looking at Vessel and just saying, when were we admitted, Vessel? Have we always been here? And Album's just like his voice is starting to crack. And he's like, is anything even real anymore, man? What's going on?
I just swam through mirrors. What are you talking about?
He says with a straight
That's
face.
convincing. Oh, of course.
Okay.
Swam through mirrors. Yeah, of course. We're not crazy. No. Meanwhile, over at the Samagina household, you're out on the street. You watch the fire is just consuming this household. There's a crowd that's forming.
I do not want to be here when the
It's
authorities show.
dark. Yeah. Do you want to try to slink off, or do you just want to? You do not give a shit?
I would like to, yes, slink.
Okay, roll stealth.
Her phone starts ringing.
Oh, 38 just passed.
You manage to sneak away, and right as you kind of turn around the corner, like through some hedges, that's right when your phone goes off, and thankfully you're out of earshot of the people that were there. You look down, you don't recognize the number, but it's a local number. It's got like a Boston area code on it.
I'll kind of just answer it, but not say anything, and just listen.
Fawn, please tell me this is you.
Yes.
They wouldn't let me leave the Dorchester, and I'm in a room, and it's filled with women, and there's this one lady, and her name is Ariana Bogdan, and she keeps asking for Lana Bogdan. And if you remember that the first mission that we had, and we found that note or whatever about Alana Bogdan when we had the hospital bracelets, and then I found myself my own hospital bracelet, and I'm wearing another one again, and so somebody's coming, and she hangs up the phone.
Do I have to make a sand roll?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you look at the phone. It's fine. You check your, you just had it was a phone call and lasted like 15 seconds or so.
Right, but you mentioned my sister's name.
I mean, I'm not gonna make you roll a sand roll for that.
Okay.
Just the mentioning of your sister's name.
All right. Okay. Shit. I don't know where to go. I'm all by myself. I will try to go back to where we've been staying.
You go back to where you've been staying. I believe we're at the Hilton now. We're just doing a cycle
Yes.
through all of the Boston hotels.
Yes.
You get back and there's no one there. It's just you. Some things are there. You wait a couple hours. Maybe you clean up a little bit. There's still nobody here.
Can I try calling their cell phones?
Sure.
Not Vessels, because I saw him swim into a mirror. So
Okay. You go one by one through the burner numbers that you have for everybody. No one answers.
But your phone rings again.
Okay. Again.
Fawn.
Yes.
We need help. I need you to come here. This Ariana, she wants to talk to you. She says that we need you to get in hold of her sister. Her sister can help get her out. She's not supposed to be here. I guess they're like taking people. There's more girls being brought into the room.
Do you have a way to let me in?
I don't know. I'm stuck in a room. What are you? There were these big orderlies that I've never seen before, and Bryce has been like carrying his bag, and he's got another bag that he keeps walking around with, and like I haven't seen Album. Like we separated, and I haven't seen him since like I don't know how long it's been in here.
Okay. I'll figure out what I can do.
And then and she's just like, fuck, Fawn, just get here. And she drops the phone line, and she lets Ariana pick up.
You just hear your sister's voice. Just say, help. And then like the phone cuts off.
What? Fawn has no idea what to do. Absolutely no idea. Neither does Melissa. I have absolutely no freaking clue what I'm supposed to do.
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. I don't know what to tell you. It's up to you.
I mean, the choices that I'm basically seeing is I know what Vessel did with the mirror to trace the sign to go that way, but I have no idea what that does. Or I go back to the Dorchester just by myself with no... Yes, chat. The demon phones keep getting broken.
Meanwhile, back in the Dorchester facility, Vessel and Album, while you two are there, you see this figure just slowly start to like kind of walk up towards you guys. He's got like headphones on, and he just kind of bumps past you guys and like goes and lies down on the bed in the same room as you, Album. Both of you recognize him. Thomas Manuel from the McAllister building in 1995. As he curls up, listening to what looks like a Walkman and headphones in the same room as you, Album.
I'm gonna walk up to him. You said he just laid down on the bed.
He just kind of not rudely, just sort of like shouldered past you two,
Yeah.
and just laid down on the bed, headphones on, turned his head, turned off to the side.
I'll lightly tap him on the shoulder to get his attention.
He kind of looks up at you.
I'll motion to like take a headphone off.
What?
Thomas,
Yeah, what?
how long have the three of us been here?
We've always been here, Ben.
Yes, but what time frame is always? I'm having a hard time keeping track right now.
I don't know, man. Time's just a construct. And he puts the thing back over his ear.
Good
Listen
question
here,
from
you shit.
chat.
Don't talk about time as a construct to an astrophysicist.
Question from chat. Does he look 20 years older than he did?
Mm-mm. No, he looks like the young, attractive young man he was.
Album's gonna ask him, when did you leave McAllister?
He's got his headphones on, so he puts a who?
The McAllister building where you were painting. When did you leave there?
I didn't, man. Kind of closes the ink, puts it over top of his ear again.
Or what do you mean you didn't?
Dude, what do you want, man? I'm trying to.
If you didn't leave the McAllister building, are you trying to suggest that we're still there?
Man, I'm trying to just listen to my tunes, man. And you see him just slowly kind of get up. He's like, he starts to shuffle out, like, whatever you're going through, man, like, just, hurry up and work through it. And he just kind of covers his ear.
Album's gonna threaten him, actually. Album's gonna say, don't make me call one of the nurses for having contraband. You can't have wires. You already know the rules. He's gonna lean into like the whole psych thing.
Kind of looks at you strangely. He's like, what?
Look down at what you're wearing. He's wearing a gown, right?
He's got a gown on, but yeah, he's got a little Walkman on his side. He's got
Yeah.
headphones
So I'd be
on.
like, look down at your gown, Thomas. You can't have headphones in this place. You have contraband. I'm gonna tell the nurses on you.
I never heard of that band before, man. He just kind of puts it back on and starts walking out into the hall.
Punch him in the face.
Yeah, feeble Album's gonna use his 7 strength to punch.
Fight.
So we'll go back to Fawn, middle of the night in your hotel. Have you come up with something?
I don't know what I'm supposed to.
There's no supposed to. You just do what you think you should do. Like, what do you want to do? You just got a frantic call, Chelsea, talking about your sister. You just saw a vessel go into a mirror and the house he was in burned down, and who the hell knows where Album is because no one's answering their phones. So what would Fawn do with that?
As much as I feel like it's a trap, like all she can do is just go to the Dorchester house.
Okay. All right. So you drive to the Dorchester house. Get up to the front. It's dark out. It's got the same, anti-climb bars, that kind of the hooks at the top. You can see that the security gate doesn't seem to have anybody in it, but the gates are closed nonetheless. There is a little message for after hours, push this button. It looks like an intercom that goes into the hospital as you pull up in your vehicle. What do you do?
So I'll call on the intercom.
Okay. You call on the intercom and you hear a voice that you're not familiar with. Say, almost has like a very slight German accent to it, like, hello?
Yes, good evening. I'm seeking admittance.
Admittance. You like hear like a long silence. You're static. And then suddenly you hear a buzz and the gate opens up. And you see the entranceway that leads to the parking lot.
All right, I will drive in.
Drive in. You see the parking lot. You see Dr. Dallin's car. You see the car that you know that Album and Chelsea rented. It's kind of dark. You can see the doors to go inside. No one's out here. Occasional flickering of a light somewhere, like on the walkway moving up. Huge lawns, empty, but like kind of shadowy and dark. You can see the contours of like a random hedge. You think, no, those aren't moving. They're standing still. Everything's fine. What do you want to do?
Take a second look at the hedge that I thought might have been moving.
Hey, you look over. No, it's totally not moving.
Okay. Go up to the front door.
Go up to the front door.
Just
Absolutely.
gonna take a second buzz.
No second buzz. You just go up to the front door. Test it out. Seems to be open. Seems to be unlocked.
Okay.
Pull the door open. You can see the dark entryway, the waiting area, the little reception desk where you met Houston. Does not seem to be currently under operation. Doesn't seem to be anyone here in the vicinity.
I'll sort of just call out. Hello?
You don't hear anything.
So I'm not having to go, like, there's no one to take anything that's
Nope.
mine away from me as I come in.
Not at all.
All right, I'm gonna, or whatever good this is gonna be worth, put my phone on, like, record.
Okay.
And then put it back in my pocket and keep going.
Okay. Go ahead and you put your phone on. Hit record. Did you step inside?
Yes.
Okay. You step inside. Back in the Dorchester, Vessel, standing in the hallway. You see Thomas Manuel, his headphones just slowly like moving down the hallway. You see him turn a left and he's gone out of sight. He passed right through one of those security gates that's wide open. You look across the hall from where Album was, and you can see that there is a room that's got like a name scratched into like some paper. And it's not like written, it's like literally like just torn and scratched, and it's over top of like 10 other names. But the name that's kind of scratched in is Rosemary Norman. And you look inside and you can see that there is a very large puppet that's laying in a bed. Marionette. You can see the wires are up and connected to some track that's in the ceiling.
I'll go in and examine it.
Yeah, you step over and you can see that it's a female marionette. Looks to have like these holes that are kind of buried into the chest, the shoulder, looks like one of the arms. And as you're kind of moving around with it, you know, as you kind of move the blanket, you can see it begin to stir, and you hear like this little rattling as like the wires begin to sort of shake a bit. And as the wires shake, this figure just, as if it's like waking up, like slowly and rickety, moving its arm up to its head and just kind of wiping this strange hair out of its face and just kind of looks up at you with this dead, expressionless face.
Hello?
And it just kind of like does this overly melodramatic like hop up as if it's first standing on top of the bed and just kind of shakes and then drops as if it's sitting on the edge of the beds now. Its legs dangling off the sides. You look up at the ceiling and where are these wires going? There's these deep black tracks where the wires just disappear into, and you look up and there's just, where is this coming from? And you start to watch as like the tracks continue all throughout the room and out to the room. And as you're turning and looking, you see the wires just begin to move as this puppet just starts to romp and sway and move as it's like walking and ambulating outside and into the hallway itself.
I'll follow it.
Okay. You follow for a little bit. And as you do, you turn a corner and you almost smash into what looks like a very tall orderly. 6'4", 6'5", probably 300 pounds. You can see that he's got some kind of large tray, like this huge like push cart. You can see somehow, and you're not even really sure how, somehow the puppet got to the other side of where he is. He's kind of blocking the hallway, and the tracks go right over top, but he's there, and you can see he's removing what looks like a large painting of some kind of red curtain stage. And when you look at his tray, which almost looks like a food cart, and it's got all these different containers. And you can see they look like these little cylindrical, almost like if you've ever been to the old school banks that you used to have to shoot up into a pneumatic tube, and they're sloshing around with some kind of red liquid. And he just takes one and he leans over towards the wall where he just removed this painting. There's this receptacle on the wall. He slides this small container right up to the receptacle, and you hear as it disappears, sucked up into the wall somewhere. Album. Manuel has just left. You just watch Vessel run down the hall and disappear around the corner. You hear someone coughing across the hall from you. You peek in and you see a woman getting up from the bed. It's the same room that you just saw Vessel explode out of. And you see Chelsea waking up from the bed.
Chelsea?
And she just kind of sits up. Where have you been?
How? What do you? I've been here the whole time, like you have.
We were supposed to meet in the cafeteria, and then I'm in the cafeteria by myself, and then these orderlies. I got a black eye.
Chelsea, how long have we been here? Have we always been here? Has this all just been...
What do you mean, have we always been here?
Have we just lived here our whole lives? Are we nuts? What's going on?
Okay, I appreciate that you think my occult knowledge means that I know more than you do in this situation, but I'm just as clueless.
How did you get in the rooms? I don't remember. I was in a stairwell. There was smoke.
I got knocked out in the cafeteria by an orderly?
And you weren't wearing the gown then that you were wearing now?
No, you and I came here to talk to patients. Are you okay?
Yeah, Album's not having this right now. He just kind of like leans against the wall and he's just like, I don't know.
We need to get out of here. They would not let me leave.
And how do you suggest we do that? I was sitting in the elevator maintenance shaft with a hammer and a screwdriver to start dismantling shit, and next thing I know, I'm in a room. There was epoxy everywhere, then there was smoke, and I wake up in a bed. It doesn't seem like I was preparing for this, and I still got captured somehow.
And
Yeah. When I say I had a screwdriver and a hammer, I hold up the marker and the stuffed animal.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Dorchester house, Fawn, you're moving through the halls looking for signs of anyone, and you're easily moving through all these various security gates that open and close with ease. Nothing seems to stop you here and there. You lots of doorways, lots of staircases, and you hear a voice. Oh, Miss Bogdan! It's the same voice you heard. I was wondering where you were. And you see this kind of small, kind of fastidious guy who's constantly kind of fidgeting here and there. He's got like a clipboard. He's wearing a doctor's coat. He's got glasses on. I'll go ahead and show him to you. Are you ready for group this evening?
Sorry, didn't catch your name.
Oh, Miss Bogdan. It is Dr. Friend. This is... You can see he's got kind of like a sad look on his face. I thought we were past this. I suppose we are not. We will tackle this in group. Come. He's kind of like he's standing in the doorway, and he's kind of reaching out, kind of not touching you, just sort of gently saying, "Come."
I'm definitely moving away. I want to see Chelsea.
And you hear he's just, Chelsea, and he's thinking, who is this Chelsea? And you start to back away, and like you almost like trip as you realize like your slipper has kind of fallen off your foot, and you see like right in front of you, just a couple feet in front of him, in the middle of the hall between the two of you, this cushy little kind of bluish slipper. It's just sitting in the hallway.
What the hell? Like I reach in where I thought I'd just put my phone for recording.
You pull out, and it looks like a sock, a folded up sock of some kind.
Son of a bitch.
Are you feeling okay tonight, Miss Bogdan? Yeah, you can't quite place the accent. It's European. Every now and then it sounds a little German, a little French, a little Spanish even. Like it's just kind of meandering a bit.
Does it sound Castanish?
She did identify his accent.
That's fair, actually. Yeah, it does have a little bit of a tinge to that. Good catch.
Just because I'll just throw it out there, I'll meta Castaigne?
No, I am Dr. Friend. We have been through this so many times, Miss Bogdan. And you see him look down at a watch. That roll an alertness test.
I'm not so good at this, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, he just looks at it. I will come for you later, and we will discuss this in group. I have things to do. Try to relax in the meantime. Reacquaint yourself.
And is he letting me roam?
Doesn't seem to be interfering with you at all.
Then I want to go to the third floor.
Okay, sure. You start onto the stairs, and you start moving your way up.
I am just cussing up a storm to myself. Like, just...
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I'm flinging doors open when I get up there.
Vessel, you've been standing here watching this guy just taking these canisters, kind of disappearing up into them. You want to do anything?
Ask him what he's doing.
What's that?
Ask him what he's doing.
He looks at you. None of your business. Just move on. Don't cause a problem. Okay? Just doing my job.
What are these?
I'm not going to tell you again. Stop getting in the way. Stop bothering me. Another one goes up.
I'll leave him alone then.
Okay. Do you go back the way you came, or do you continue to try to chase down that puppet marionette that scattered
Yep.
down the
I'll
hall?
keep following the puppet then, see if I can
Okay.
get past him.
So you just keep trying to follow the tracks in the ceiling and seeing if you can catch up. Meanwhile, back in the room of Rosemary Norman, Album and Chelsea are talking. Chelsea, you look over Album's shoulder and you can see a figure standing in the doorway. And you recognize the face. And you hear and you recognize the face of Rudolph
Rudolph?
Valader as he's staring at you, his eyes wide. And we're going to end there for tonight.
Fuck.
Oh
What in the hell?
gosh.
Hi, guys. Is everybody okay? I feel like I need to
Today
just
was
check in. Is everybody okay?
fun.
Everyone doing all right?
Therapy.
We've been
Wearing
psych
Well, you're-
patients this whole
Good
time.
thing
You're in
we
a
have
perfect place
group
for it.
coming up.
freaky slippers.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
You don't
Yeah,
buy
well-
it?
You don't buy it. He does it like. All right. Go ahead and
Oh, bloody hell.
do your rolls while they're doing the rolls. Let's just plug some other stuff, right? So we're gonna take off here in a moment. We're gonna raid somebody else. We'll see if our friends the defenders are still going or if Steam Still Murder's up. I don't think Bird is. I think I saw him in the chat recently, so I think they might have finished. But you can catch us other times during the week. So if you like Delta Green, keep coming back on Fridays. This is when we're playing it. So we'll be back next week to continue. Might be the finale of part 2. We'll see. We're very close, I think, as you can see. On Saturday, tomorrow, you can come by at 6 Central during the kind of afternoonish time, evening, where we're going to be playing Worlds Without Number. On Monday, you can come back to our channel for Ultraviolet Grasslands. So very excited. We already did our session 0, built our characters, tinkered with our caravan. So our very first real adventure-y type session, on the road type of stuff is going on with Ultraviolet Grasslands, our psychedelic Oregon Trail game. We're very excited to get into that. I'm elsewhere too. Melissa and I tomorrow will be over on the Defenders of Cobalt playing Forbidden Lands. Sunday, I'll be on Steam Still Murder playing Shadowrun. And on Tuesday, I'll be over on Garblag Games playing Call of Cthulhu as we're playing through Mask of Nyarlathotep. So very excited. So hang tight. And that was not the finale, actually. No, Snail, there's more. I actually really like the finale of part 2. It's pretty amazing. But thanks for everybody who hung out. Thanks for the gifts, the gift subs. Papa
Yes,
Probo,
thank you.
thank you. Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, whoever you were out there who just threw out all the thank you so much for that. And yeah, just hang tight. I think we'll raid someone. Looks like Defenders are still up. So we'll throw it on the end screen here for a moment while the raid warms up. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for everything, and have a great weekend. So, bye-bye.
Guys.
Bye, guys.